Yeah, Prophet Marshall Occurrence, back at it, back at it. So yeah, God is good. We're talking about on Palm Sunday, glory to Jesus, praise to Jesus. I just had a beautiful conversation with my mom, praising the Lord, and God is good. God is going to help us overcome. We always overcome. God's people, God's righteous people always overcome. And these times are no exception. We're always going to overcome. We're always going to survive every situation. Glory to God. We're going to survive every situation. We always are. And we're just going to realize, that these people that worked witchcraft out here against us, these people who oppose us, and I guess they take us as weak, but God's kingdom is the greatest. It's no exception. It's no other way. God's kingdom is the greatest. God is the greatest. We are his servants. And we continue to go to war until these people are in the grave. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to war until they're in the grave. Because it comes to a point where it's just seen as it is. It's not what it could be, what it should be. We see it as it is. And we adjust to as it is. We adjust to what it is. And we adjust to it by standing in a position against people who think that this is a spiritual contest or something like that. We don't let people like that play with us and get away with it. Okay? So, the time of Mr. Nice Christian is over. Mr. Nice Christian is over. We're at war, and that's how it has to be. That's how it's going to be, and so it's just it's no. What I want to say is when we got the upper hand like we do right now, we stay on their neck. We stay on their neck. We got the upper hand. I just talked to my mom. I hadn't talked to her in almost 2 months. So that's breakthrough while I'm fasting. That's breakthrough. We're not here playing with the Americans at all. God's glory is shining on us. And it's time for these people that work witchcraft in their own little world, that think that they're going to come over here and play with God's people for fun or whatever they think. Whatever it is that they're thinking, that how they see it, listen, we don't care. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. We're going to overcome these people. I want you to understand that we have to get ready for a major season of America's suffering for what they've done against our people, against God's people. They have to pay for what they've done. Okay? So we have the mindset of Jeremiah. Jeremiah was told by God, don't pray for America. Don't pray for the people. Don't cry for them or pray for them. We have to now set our hearts where I no longer pray for America. I no longer cry for these people. See, that they not crying for you. They don't wish good fortune on you. Okay, so who started to wish misfortune on who first? They started to wish misfortune on you, didn't they? First, right? That's all that needs to be understood. That's all that needs to be understood. They started this, right? They wish misfortune on you first, right? In ignorance. It don't matter if it was in education or ignorance. You wished misfortune on us first, right? Whether you was ignorant of who I was or not, you wished misfortune on me first. And that's what we looking at. See, we talking to only the mature people. We talking to people that only think with a mature brain, right? Sober-minded. They wished misfortune on me and you first. And that's why this stuff is happening to these people. It's common sense. It's not hard to see for us. So we in our warfare position. Making sure that it's understood. People that work witchcraft and they think it's a game to work it, and they think it's their religion or whatever they think. Listen, they are no competition. The world is ending. The world is ending. I don't compete no more. I rest. This is a season of rest. This is a season where you no longer pay attention to nothing they talking about, that they trying to speak to your mind. We don't pay attention to none of that. This is a season of rest and victory. This is rest and victory. Because it's all ending. Today, my offering goes to Vietnam. It leaves America and starts to go to Vietnam. I'm working with Vietnam. Okay, God, I'm with God's true people. I'm with God's true people. And so, we're not focused on nothing else. We're not focused on them no more. These are people that are already drowning and they want to pull you down with them. That's how you got to start looking at it. They already know they dead. They already know they drowning, and they want to pull me and you down with them. See, that's the last act. The last act is, I know we dying, and you want to pull people down with you. It's not gonna happen, buddy. We in the spirit. We doing good. See, I don't fast to be in the same boat with people that's sinners, that's living unclean, that's living like homosexuals. I don't live and fast to have the same position that you have and the same energy that you have. It doesn't work like that. Okay? So it's time. We decree and declare that it's time. See, it comes a point where we no longer acknowledge their humanity. You understand? We don't acknowledge their humanity anymore. We don't acknowledge their humanity. Their humanity doesn't matter. When does it come to a point where their humanity doesn't matter? It doesn't matter when they're low quality people. When the state decides to put somebody to death, like death row, right? Your humanity is no longer acknowledged. So it's the same situation. It's the same situation. When they have attacked us and played all these games, we don't acknowledge their humanity anymore. You've went so far that now your humanity as Americans is not acknowledged. It's not acknowledged. Because what people will do is when they're in trouble with God, when they're in trouble with us, guess what happens? Oh yeah, they're in trouble with us and they're in trouble with God. When that happens, that's the position, right? That's the position. It doesn't change. America and these secret society people who live life in commercials and cartoons and trending commercials and cartoons, they are in trouble. That's their position. It's not going to change. And when you try to feel sorry for yourself, it won't change. Just like a person on death row, you can feel sorry for yourself on death row, but you're still going to die. See, that's how solid you got to be. Like a government that puts somebody to death. You got to be that solid on the Americans that play with us. You got to be that solid on witchcraft. These witch people, you got to be that solid. You can cry. You can ask for compassion. But we're putting you in the grave. And that's what it is. That's what it is today. And the line is drawn in the sand. I know exactly what kind of spirits we're dealing with. And long as they play that position, we're going to play our position. Long as they play their position, we're going to play our position. And it's not going to change. Because to us, as God's kingdom, you're just another community. You're just another country. Now you found people that are not impressed. That's God's people. We're not impressed with the Americans. We don't care how much money they got. We don't care what they do. Because we realize that God is worth more than all those things. And we're not saying that out of jealousy or envy. We realize that having God, especially in a time like this, where you can't even really enjoy life. See, one thing about it, if you're a good person, you can't enjoy life while everybody suffers. A lot of people have, but that tell you what type of people they are. If you see all the suffering in the world, this is without God. How can you be happy? Because you're a sick person already. Only sick people can enjoy the world right now. Everybody else that see all the killing and all the suffering and all the stuff that's going on, we not necessarily happy. You know what I'm saying? We're not happy. We're fighting a war. We're winning our war, but are we happy with the outlook of the world? We're happy because we're in Christ Jesus. We're serving the Lord. Okay? We're serving the Lord. That's why we're happy. See, these people that's focused on us, we're focused on them, but we're focused on them in a way, indirectly. Sun Tzu taught this in The Art of War. You got indirect attacks, indirect attacks. The indirect attack of all these wars that's going on in Iran, in the Middle East, it's an indirect attack against the Americans. This is an indirect attack. And that's why we're focused on it. So we're using an indirect attack to wash up these witchcraft people. Nobody wanted to do anything about this. See, we don't look at it as though they're young and fun-loving. We don't care we don't care about those things. See, that's how they change into angels of light. These secret society people change into angels of light. Like they're fun-loving and they're positive people and they love the community. We don't care about that. We're going by what you have done. That's what we're going by. And you can change into an angel of light and it doesn't matter. You can change into an angel of light and we're not going to acknowledge that. We're too wise to acknowledge you turning into an angel of light. We don't care about that. That's what they're going to try to do. That's what these Americans are going to try to do. Put their family in front of you. We don't care about that no more. Because like we established, like we established, it's going to be children and family at the end of the world. It's not going to be one day all the children go away, now the end of the world. They're going to be right here with the end of the world. So in other words, it's never a perfect time for the world to end. And when it does, everybody got to go. So you see how much maturity it takes to understand when we're at the end. It takes so much maturity to understand that even though you got a family, it's still the end. So it ain't gonna matter what you talk about family. You can talk about that all day. If you believe in God, you know that the concept of children is not gonna hold up with stopping the end of the world. It's not gonna stop it. Children are not gonna stop the end of the world. And you have to tell Americans this. The end of the world is not gonna stop because of children. In fact, you show me in the Bible where judgment stopped because of children. It's a whole different lane. That's not how it goes. Show me in the Bible where judgment from God stopped because of children. Just children, that's it. Don't matter what everybody else was doing. Because of children, the judgment stopped. Show me that in the Bible. So why would you think that now? Especially now, with all the wickedness that's going on, why would you think that judgment is going to stop because people got children? It never did before. Judgment never stopped before because of children. So it's more wicked now. Okay, so why would judgment stop because of children? That's all I'm saying. It's all over. It's for more than one reason. It's the homosexuality. It's the stuff that you overlooked. That part. It's the stuff that you overlooked, that you kind of suppressed and then expressed, that all this homosexuality and lesbianism will bring judgment. You suppress the idea of that. It's bringing judgment. Everything that's going on right now with homosexuality and lesbianism, it's bringing judgment. So as God stands with us about our issues, we have to stand with God about what he has a problem with. He has a problem. Not with the person that repents and turns from their wicked ways. He has a problem with the person that does not turn from their wicked ways. He has a problem with the person that chooses to stay in homosexuality. He has a problem. He doesn't have a problem with the person that turns their back on homosexuality. He has a problem with those who stay homosexuals and stay lesbians. That's what we got a problem with. And so judgment is coming because of that. Okay? It's not going to get better. We as God's people have to go into these places and still work in these places and do things. But God will give us strength to do it. God will help us to do it. But we have to know that it's over. Because of that. That's one of the main reasons. It's not going to go any further. See, people got so comfortable with not saying nothing, you forgot that the judgment is coming because of that. You got so comfortable not talking about homosexuality and not talking about lesbianism that you actually are not, you became unconscious of the fact that that lifestyle in this whole country is going to bring judgment on this whole country. outside of what they're doing to us, judgment is coming. We already know what the Bible says. Okay, so is it our personal preference? It's based on the Bible. Because people act like you just woke up one day against them. Ignorance. And they're afraid to challenge the Bible, but they'll challenge me and you. See, they'll think that they got a relationship with God or God is with them. Those are demons. Those are principalities and spirits that's talking to you and make you feel like it's a spirit of God. No. How we know is because of this Bible. Okay? You can't be unclean and homosexuals and then serve God. No. If we gotta live clean, you gotta live clean. If I can't have sex, you can't have sex and have a relationship with God. No, you can't, buddy. Why you think we doing this? For our health? No, we do it to have a real relationship with God. We got a real relationship with God. In order to keep that alive, you got to live righteous. So when you play with a righteous person that's clean, as Americans, you're in trouble, buddy. That's why you keep trying to dig stuff up on us. But we not perfect, right? Right. But see where you at? When you playing around people, you know they ain't perfect, right? Ain't nobody perfect. So you become a clown. That's what I'm saying. Even to a Christian, you a clown to me. Because, nobody's perfect, right? Nobody's out down here saying that there's no Christians that I know that will not clearly make it clear that we're not perfect at all, right? Okay, so with that being said, for people that's picking around us, listen, bro, this is why your country is gonna die. Because we looking at it just like it is. You playing around God's people. You playing around human beings, right? You don't see them doing nothing right. That's why you gotta go. It's that simple. It's that simple. That's why you gotta go. That's that. See, when you don't have this clown perspective, that's why I tell people I got a great sense of humor. But am I a clown? No. A clown is a person that will play with you and know they just imperfect, just like you imperfect. But some way they want to play with you. It's not working this time. This time, we're going to burn away the system that you depend on. The system that you depend on. The things that you depend on. We're going to burn that away. So you don't have nothing. Okay? And God is going to take care of me and my family and God's people. He's going to take care of them. He's going to protect us. He's going to give us what we need. But we have to trust him and have faith and give offerings. See, this is the eve of my offering being released to Vietnam. This little stuff around here is about to get blown away. Watch, stuff in this building gonna start happening. I've seen people die in the building that I lived in. That probably most likely was working witchcraft. Pretty sure they was. They died. I seen people get scooped up out the building more than one time. And I'm pretty sure they was working witchcraft. Well, I'm just basing on the circumstances, the same patterns, them putting the same kind of people around us over and over again. I'm pretty sure they was working witchcraft. And they died. I've seen it happen. Listen, I'm telling you, this is how I think. We see these people die, bro. So, We're not trying to have fun with these people. We're not trying to coexist. No, it's war. We're not trying to coexist. See, they got that program mentality, like, you know what I mean? We're not trying to coexist with them. Like this is a program of me and you getting to know each other. I'm not in a program of me and Freemasons getting to know each other. You thought that, didn't you? You thought I was in a program of me and secret societies getting to know each other. I don't care who you are. Because if you was intelligent, you will understand that besides who you are personally, as far as a personality, you've already wronged us to where we don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. All I'm looking at is the wrongs you've done. And who you are personally is irrelevant to me. While you're trying to show us who you are, it doesn't matter. But you see why it doesn't matter? Because who you are doesn't change what you've done. Who you are is not going to change what you've already done. Okay? So a personality means nothing. A certain flair means nothing. A certain kind of drip, sauce, flavor don't mean nothing to me. Because it's not justice. It's not justice to know you. It's not justice for me and you to get along. It's not justice. See, this became a matter of justice. In the midst of you being wrong about everything, right? Freemasons wrong about everything, right? In the middle of you being wrong about everything, this became a matter of justice. See, unlike you, I don't come out here trying to get street justice. I don't believe in street justice. I just go to war. That's the difference. I'm not out here trying to get street justice. That's what you tried to do. You couldn't possibly bring me to the courts, but you thought you was going to get street justice, and God didn't allow it to happen. So now why would I embrace you when you tried to take my life? Look how narcissistic that is. Look how conceited that is when you think you're someone special to where I would want to know you after you conspired against me. I don't want to know America anymore. I don't want to know these people anymore. We don't care nothing about them. And it's okay to feel that way. It's okay. It's not a nasty attitude. It comes to a point where reality sets in and you realize that this is what it is, that these people are of the devil. That's it. So we're not trying to love them. We're not trying to do anything. They're our enemies and we're not coexisting with them. See, America thought it would be a cute idea to put me in the building with these people. But all it did was cause World War III, basically. And now you look like clowns. That's what I'm saying. See, when you're real and you're authentic, you don't wind up looking like a clown. See, I don't wind up ever looking like a clown, ever. Just when you think I do, I'm going to be who I'm supposed to be and who I am. I'm going to always reflect who I am. You keep looking like a clown. Guess what that means? You must be a clown. I keep looking like I'm real. I must be real. And that don't mean as far as the streets. That means not just limited to the streets. Spirituality. Everything that we said who we was. I proved to be that, right? So if I keep appearing to be real, then I'm real. You know why you always calling somebody fake? Because you're fake. It's on your mind. I don't struggle with it. I don't struggle with that. I have no struggles. I have no struggles with being not my authentic self or something like that. Like these celebrities, they struggle with self-image and different things like that. I don't struggle with that. You know how you know? Because we got our job done. We believed that we could do this when nobody believed. When nobody believed in us. Everybody thought it was ludicrous for me to think that we could defeat America. Now look at the situation. Now you're starting to pay attention. That's why we're on guard more than ever. We're ready to protect ourselves more than ever. Because we know everybody looking at it like we winning. Okay? We're winning. Let's remember today that we're winning. We're winning. And, you know, it's not going to change. See, we did what we had to do. And see, people will simplify it like you just put money in the mailbox. Just putting money in the mailbox? There is no just putting money in the mailbox. Money is life. Money feeds. Money is a matter of I got what I need or I don't. For some people, I'm happy or I'm not. Money is a matter of good morale, right? In a lot of cases. So there's no just putting money in the mailbox. I paid prices, no pun intended. We pay prices as God's people. And now we're getting what we want. We're seeing these people suffer for what they've done. This is the eve before Vietnam offering for me. The Vietnam offering. This is what I want God's true people to pay attention to. When the prophet gives an offering, it's a different situation. Listen, this is not me trying to be arrogant or puff myself up. This is understanding my position as opposed to someone else's position. When I give the offering, something is about to happen. When I fast, something is about to happen. Okay? That's how you know, like I said, I don't struggle with self-portrait or self-image. I'm confident in what my position is. And that's not something I struggle with. We are about to overcome with this next offering. I'm telling you this on Palm Sunday. Praise Jesus. Hosanna, Hosanna. Hosanna, Hosanna. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna. We, hallelujah, are waiting for God. See, this is a war for God. And it's just a lot of unclean people, and that's all it is. That's why you got to stop. Don't pay attention to no issues. It's unclean people. That's what it is. It's unclean people. That's what it is. And they mad, and listen, they think somebody's stopping them from being gay, or their threat against them being gay. They paid attention to the wrong things. You know, as far as I go. Because as soon as you listen, you challenged me first. Nobody cared about you being gay, right? Nobody cares about it now, right? It's not in my, I don't care about what you're doing. I don't coexist with you. Which means I'm not thinking about what gay people doing. I'm not thinking about their existence. So that's me as a prophet. I'm not thinking about your existence. And you can take that how you want to take it. But either way it go, most human beings are not conscious of everybody's existence. America is not conscious of Africa and their existence. America is not conscious of South America and its existence. I can show you how you're not conscious of other people's existence, and I'm not conscious of gay people's existence. That's what it is. I'm not worried about what they're doing in their personal life, just like you're not worried about South America or Africa and what they're doing. You're not thinking about it, are you? Okay, so that means you're not conscious of their existence. You see that? You're not conscious of their existence. I'm not conscious of your existence as homosexuals and lesbians. I'm not. And you could think it's bad for me to feel this way, but it's based on a lot of things. A lot of things that people are aware of. We're at war and we're not. Me, personally, in my position, I'm only focused on my relationship with God in war. Right? And my loved ones, and that's it. As far as humanity and the social aspect of this community, I'm not focused on it. I'm not focused on it. Okay, so with that being said, wouldn't you think that I would not be conscious of gay people and what they doing? No. That's just common sense. So whether you feel that it's deserved or not, people play with my life, and that's basically what it is. They play with my life, and so I'm one of the people that people understand why I feel like this about gay people. They play with my life. They think it's a game. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is finish what we're doing. Okay, it's not hard to understand. It's not hard to understand why you're getting what you deserve. I'm not your plaything. You can't find weakness in me. The only reason you're not dead is because I don't want to go to prison. That's the only reason I haven't killed one of you. And I'm just being transparent with you. So while you in the clown world and you think I'm in there with you, listen, the only reason I haven't killed one of these people is because I don't want to go to prison. That's the reason why. Okay? They've done enough to deserve death. And I'm saying that in the sense of war. They deserve death. The only reason I haven't done that is because I'm not trying to go to prison. Okay? So that's me being transparent and showing people where it's at. It's not hate. People think it's hate. Hate and war is two different animals. Hate and war is not one and the same. War comes in when we determine that people are persistent and consistent against us, right? And it's not even if it's self-explanatory when you're in the right? How is it hate when they opposed you first, right? It's first self-defense. It's defending yourself first. It's doing what you got to do to survive first, and then everything else is secondary, and that speaks for itself. The main reason is you need to defend yourself and protect yourself, and that's what I'm doing. I'm already out of New York. I'm already out of here. It's already over. Whether you like it or not, I'm not here to perform for people that's beneath me. I've made this very clear. You're beneath me as the black community. And the reason why is because of your actions. You have become, you cannot be me, you can't be eye to eye when you've done me the way you've done me. See, and that's how white people are. White people, all this time, think they eye to eye with people and they do people so dirty. What's the difference? So we start judging black people as we judge white people. You see what I'm saying? And they made the same mistake as hiding behind their race, like that would save them. Black people ain't making that same mistake. Yes, they are. You think for whatever reason, because you're black, this is gonna save you. Minister Farrakhan can't even tell you that. You being black ain't gonna save you from hell. Minister Farrakhan can't promise you that you're gonna go to heaven because you're black. No preacher can you see what I'm saying? No preacher can guarantee you going to heaven because you're a black person. You're making the same mistakes that white people make. They've been doing it way before you. They do people wrong and think they can see eye to eye with the same people. That's how people couldn't see eye to eye with black people at first. Because once you wrong somebody, you're beneath that person. You're beneath me because of your actions. And white people was beneath black people because of their actions until they started doing the same thing white people was doing, killing black people and killing black children. Once they started doing that, you was on the same even playing ground as white people. So see, for righteous people, to me, you have become just as corrupt as the white man, which, and this is the way you need to hear it, where we don't care if you're black. I'll tell you to your face, I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're black. That's not gonna change anything at this point. Because the reason why you think about being black is because of what your ancestors did. That's them, that's not you. You, as a community, kill each other. That's who you are. We no longer consider you being black. I don't care about that. You are beneath me. Just like the white man was beneath black people because of his actions. You are no different. Because of your actions, you are not anywhere in my vicinity. To me, that's common sense. Okay, if I'm a bum, if I'm a horrible person, then I can't be esteemed a certain way. I can't be esteemed as some grand, great person. No, I don't care. Listen, this is the one thing that black people forgot. Being unprofessional, being a roach with your actions, you cannot be esteemed as legends like us. Because you took the roach approach. You can use that for yourself. They took the roach approach, didn't they? They took the roach approach. And you can't be a roach and a lion. I know you like to think as African Americans, you lions, don't you? You took the roach approach, buddy. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say we're a savage over here, but really you're a roach, right? And then act like you're a regal lion over here. You're a roach because of your actions. You're a cockroach, like Tony Montana was saying. You're a cockroach. A man that can't keep his word is a cockroach. You're a roach. I didn't break my word. Okay, I didn't change my word. Okay, so you played a game, you got caught up in your own game, and that's you. I'm not caught in the game. I'm not Tupac, no disrespect, but I'm not stuck in the game. You know, Tupac used to say stuck in the game. I'm not stuck in no game. You stuck in the game, America. You stuck in your own foolish game. And we're overcoming. So all the time that you think you got left to play games with me, this last bit of time of me in New York, God is now watching everything being done, and everything that will be done is going to shut down America even quicker. Now we flipped it around to where now, how you think you're gonna play with me till I leave New York? Listen, buddy. We gonna use everything that you're doing right now against you to shut this down quicker. In other words, I'm utilizing everything that you do. You're working for me and don't even realize it. Because everything that you do, we're utilizing that for God to bring judgment on the community in the areas that you don't want it to happen. Okay? You don't have to believe it. I'm already credible. If you don't understand it, you don't understand it. Spiritual people know what I'm talking about. In other words, we stay in this position, and everything you do is bringing God's judgment, and that's facts. Everything that you do is, we're utilizing that. I'm staying in this position. I could walk away. But you're working for me by playing your position against me, and that's working to usher in God's judgment. Why do you think I stayed in this situation when I was aware of everything you was doing? Because I was utilizing it to speed up judgment. Oh, you can do things to bring about judgment from God. See, a high-ranking spiritual person talks to you like an angel. You know what an angel gonna tell you? You do wrong, you get wrong. You do right, you get right. And there's no emotion behind it. It's non-emotional, which means the spiritual world makes a non-emotional decision. God's kingdom, God makes a non-emotional decision. And you know what I mean? It's not based off emotion. It's based off of right and wrong. And so this whole situation, we used it for God's judgment to come on these people. Okay? It's not wrong. I'm right. If you don't understand it, you don't understand it. So I used you. You thought you used me. I used you. I paid the price. I don't have to be here. I stayed in this while you act like you wanted smoke, and I let you do everything. And guess what? Look at the country. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Well, look at your country. How long I've been here? 5 months. Okay, what happened to your country in the past 5 months? It's a 9-day difference, isn't it? Why you think it's a 9-day difference in the past 5 months? October, I came to this building, right? I came to this building in October. I knew instantly that you had set this up as gang stalking. You had a little girl screaming up in my window the next day that I came here. How is that not gang stalking? So I already knew it was all from the first week. It was already set up. I utilized it. I utilized it purposely. In other words, I stayed in this position purposely for you to get what you deserve, for America to get judgment. Okay? Now, some people, they've never been paid attention. They've never listened. They've never listened properly, have they? Okay, listen. All I'm doing is what I'm supposed to do. I lay down the ground rules. I lay down the law and walk away. I'm not going to beg you to believe it. I ain't never beg you to believe it. Please believe me. You ain't never heard me say that. I don't even use that sarcastically. Please believe me. You ain't never heard me say that. I'm not begging you to believe it. I'm just putting the right energy out in the atmosphere so people know what's going on. This is not playtime. This is the end. Okay? Now, will we be able to enjoy life? Will we be able to enjoy months ahead and days ahead? Yeah, maybe. But we're focused on, like I was talking to my mom, we're just focused on the end. See, these people know their time is running out, and guess where they going? They going to hell. So this is the closest thing to paradise to them. After this, they going to hell. That's why they want to prolong it as long as they can, because they going to hell after this. And that's the bottom line. They forgot about that. Like a cartoon, okay? The person driving, they don't realize the bridge is out. You driving ahead, the punchline is, dum, dum, dum. The bridge is out, buddy. Think you're being cool and everything? Okay. The bridge is out. And you splash on the waters of hell. You're going straight to hell. And guess what? It's not like you think it is. You're going to burn. You're going to suffer. Most of America is going to hell, just like Sodom and Gomorrah. Do you realize it? All the people you see, all the celebrities, all the bums on the streets, all of them are hell-bound. They all hell-bound people. You should get the heebie-jeebies when you look at them. They all hell-bound people. Ew. Give you the heebie-jeebies. Because they going to hell. They hell-bound. Demons got them already in position. So the joke is on you. Because we all got to die. When you end up, is the joke on you. See, that's why we become the wisest people, because we realize this. While you died and go to hell. See, it comes a point where it's no longer about you at all. It's about God. It's not about me, and it definitely is not about you. It's about God and what He wants. And when you're not doing what He wants, what do you think is going to happen to you? See, all we're dealing with is a community that's filthy, and they hate God, and so they gonna hate us. That's all. It's a people that they know that they live in filthy and unclean, and that's why you mad. You mad because you know who you are. You know you going to hell, don't you? So you live recklessly, and I mean, I don't feel any compassion. I think you're punks, in my opinion, because I've been around real soldiers. I've been around real soldiers. You're a punk to me. In your best efforts, you're a punk. Now, if I hadn't been around real tough guys, real soldiers that did tours and killed people, then maybe you could try to impress me with that little hip-hop flair that you got. That little jazzed up New York weak flavor that you got, right? That little tired, weak New York flavor you got. It's tired, bruh. Don't you realize your swag is tired? Your drip, your sauce is tired, bruh. Who you are as secret societies is tired. It's a tired flair, bruh. You thought it was me. I can wear the same clothes, and because of my reputation, because of my numbers, my flair is never tired. Your flair is tired, bruh. That witchcraft foolishness that you're doing is tired. Okay? So all that stuff that you're doing out there is tired, bro. We know all about the sound campaigns, all the little noises and sounds you're making and trying to trigger on the mind. We know it's you. Okay? We know. Okay, so but it's a tired flare. It's a tired flare. Okay? It's tired. You tired, aren't you? Your flare tired and you tired, aren't you? And that's why we're here to supply you with the rest that you need. Because you're tired, buddy. You keep doing the same thing playing around us. You tired, bruh. It's time to rest. So we can play Dr. Death and put you down like a rabid dog. See, in the South, we say put you down. You got to be put down like a rabid dog. See, when a dog is rabid, it's nothing you can do for that dog called America. When America is rabid and their mind is rabid, right? I think that really, literally, your mind can go to a certain place when you keep doing the same thing against people like this and gang stalking, that you're rabid. You know what I'm saying? You're like a rabid animal with rabies, right? You got rabies. And no matter how much you love America, look at America. They got rabies. That's what it is. They got rabies. And you can rub that dog and everything, but guess what? Once you realize a dog got rabies, it's nothing you can do for the dog. It's nothing you can do. That dog is good as dead. That's America. America has rabies. It's nothing you can do. It's nothing you can do. They got rabies. It's nothing you can do. It's a sick dog. It's a sick society. You know, they too far gone. It's nothing you can do for them. So you can pray, but they got rabies. They got rabies in their head. I really believe it's some people that got rabies, like a rabid mental maniac type of spirit on them. And it's nothing you can do for them. Me, listen, I already told you, no matter what crosses my mind, I know it's you. And if it's me, it ain't gonna be in the context of me lusting after children. So whatever it is, it ain't gonna be that. You know how I know that? Because I'm not retarded. I know myself. Okay, so whatever it is, it's not gonna be me having sexual desire for children. It's gonna be me figuring things out. That's basically always what it's gonna be. It's me figuring it out. See, that's how you take back your manhood. Because for you to be subject to somebody else's opinion of your thoughts is like a child. You tower over a child and worry about how they thinking. You don't tower over a grown man and tell me how I'm thinking. I don't care how you think. I don't care how you feel. Okay? And that's it. We're never going to be, because I know your position, we're never going to be ever friends. We're never going to be friends again. The Americans and me will never be friends again. It's what it is. Okay? Everybody know what they did. Ain't nobody gonna believe it's me. Ain't nobody gonna believe that you beat me. Ain't nobody gonna think that because they already seen all the games you playing. So how it's me? Why I'm gonna fall for that? You see what I'm saying? Why would I fall for that? And I know, and I've seen this a million times. At best, it's just a Jedi mind trick that doesn't equate my real feelings towards children. So that's the bottom line. And that's how mature you have to be with the games that they playing. Okay, whatever it is, I know it don't equate sexual desire for children out of me. So that's it. That's all that matters. See, that's how you grow up in this spiritual war. Hold up. In this spiritual war, that's how you grow up. Because it's all psychological. It's guerrilla warfare, right? So you mature to realize no matter what crossed my mind, I don't have no sexual desire for children, and I know that. I know that for sure. Because I know myself. You don't let somebody attach you away from your authentic self when you act like you don't know yourself. You know yourself, right? Okay, so you know you don't have no desire for children, right? Okay, so that's it. It don't matter what they got around you. You know that they going to hell for that. And that's how we get the last laugh. You know what the last laugh is? America's going to hell. All this country's going to hell. And that's that. You're going to hell, buddy. You're going to burn in hell. And guess what? You ain't going to get to try it out and see how you like it. You're going to burn down there eternally. Eternal fire, buddy. Eternal flames. The lake of fire. That's where you're going. And that's the last punchline. See, people are already feeling like they don't care if they live or die anyway. That's your community. The same feelings you want us to feel of hopelessness, your country already feel it anyway. See, you're not paying attention. The same feelings you want us to feel, these police killing themselves. Police. American police killing themselves. See, the difference between me and them, I can live with myself no matter what I do. So you're dependent on me to feel self-conscious or feel so nice. Oh, I had a bad thought. I don't care what it is. I know that I don't do nothing in reality. That's another thing. It ain't nothing happening in reality, is it? Okay then, so I don't care what that is. See, that's how mature you gotta be. See, Sun Tzu taught this in The Art of War. You cannot be delicate in your honor. You can't be so delicate in your honor where if I have one bad thought, I feel dishonorable and I want to kill myself. See, Sun Tzu knew about this because people play psychological games and they accuse and attack people's character on purpose, right? So that goes back to the ancient times where people will want to accuse you to the community. Even in Sun Tzu's time. In Sun Tzu taught, no matter what, do not be delicate in your honor. Because how is that part of the art of war? Because they're going to attack your honor. How does it relate to the art of war? Why is that in the art of war? Because they are going to attack your honor and you can't be delicate in your honor, which is a hard thing to do. Because your mind going to say, I can't believe I had that thought. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's what I'm saying. See what I'm talking about? See, you got to come to another level where, listen, bro, it is what it is. I ain't going to die about it. I ain't going to care about it either. I'm going to be free. You know how I'm going to be free? I'm not going to, listen, it is what it is. As long as as long as I ain't out here in these streets, as long as I ain't got no sexual desire in my heart that I need to root out for children, I could care less what comes across my mind, bro. Because, and why I say that is because I know they playing psychological games. You know it too. Okay then, so then how you gonna stress about everything come across your mind? That's what I'm trying to show you. Because that's what they intentionally trying to play on. And for it to all work, you have to care about it. For it to all work, you have to care. So they think we're nice people. They already know that. Because in order for them to put that in your mind or in their situation, you have to care about that for that to work. For you to be suicidal. That's what they're shooting for. If you don't know what they're shooting for you to be suicidal. And I haven't been suicidal a day in my life. That's what they don't know. That's why I'm the real life Neo. I'm Neo. I got the energy to change the whole matrix. Because I believe that God can hold back the mark of the beast and the Antichrist. And he doesn't have to do any of that. See, that's how you know who's the one. You know how you know who's the one? He believes that God doesn't have to do any of that. God could change his mind and say, I don't want it to be the Antichrist. I don't want the New World Order or the mark of the beast. And some people gonna say, well, that got to come to pass. My faith is, if God wants it to come to pass. And who's going to dispute that? You can't dispute it. If God wants it to come to pass, then it comes to pass. If he doesn't, then it doesn't happen. So, I have enough faith in God that the mark of the beast don't even have to come. The Antichrist don't have to come. The New World Order doesn't have to happen. And that's Neo. Neo believes the Antichrist doesn't even have to come. You see where we at? See where we at? And you have to realize you're not Neo. No, you're not. Because Neo gonna believe not against prophecy, but that the elements of the devil that is in prophecy, the mark of the beast, the Antichrist, those elements, God doesn't have to do that. See, you ain't on that level of faith. How is that deception when it's true that God doesn't have to do it? You can't go wrong with that. I'm not saying I can stop it. I'm saying God. I'm not saying that. I'm saying God can stop it. God doesn't have to do it if he doesn't want to. He can make a whole different scenario situation where these people suffer and America just comes to an end. And that's the problem. And that ends, and then something else happens after that. Who are you to say it can't happen? See, that's my level of faith, and that's the only faith that changes the whole matrix. It has to be someone who believes it for it to exist. Listen to what I said. It has to be someone who believes it for it to exist. How is it going to exist if you don't believe it? It's nowhere in the world. It's because no one believes it. When someone believes it, now it appears. Now it is. And that's what the Matrix is all about. You know what the Matrix is all about? Those who believe and those who don't believe in God. That sums up the Matrix. Who has the strongest faith in the Matrix sums up the Matrix. The reason why everybody is subject to it, because you don't believe in God. You don't have faith. So you're going to be a slave in the Matrix because you don't have faith to come out of it. You don't have faith in God to come out of it and for him to deliver. See? Oh, you just thought you had faith? Why? How? See, when you're young in your understanding about spirituality, you think that I can just mentally think strong enough and I got all the faith in the world. See, that's how you start out. If I think about it long enough, I'm going to have faith. If I think strong enough, that's my faith. That's not what it is. The Bible says faith without works is dead. So you begin to do stuff that shows your faith. You begin to say things that shows your faith. And my faith is that God doesn't have to do these things. He doesn't have to allow the Antichrist, the mark of the beast, the New World Order, in the one world government. None of that has to happen. And that level of faith exists in me. And it will not be tampered with by no one. Because that's the faith that has to be alive. You say it, but you don't believe it. I believe this. I have words that show this because I elevated in my spirituality where I realize God doesn't have to do that. See, you ain't on that level. See what I'm saying? You ain't there. You ain't there. That's Christians. A lot of Christians are not there. You're not there where you feel like God can stop the mark of the beast. God can stop the New World Order. God can stop the one world government. God can stop it all. You're not there. That's why I have to separate myself from religious people. And I only draw to my spiritual people. My good spiritual people. But you have to elevate your faith too. You have to elevate your faith to now I believe that the one world government is not going to happen. I believe the New World Order is not going to happen. I believe the Antichrist is not going to happen. If God doesn't want it to happen. And when you have that in existence, within this matrix, within you is the resistance to the matrix. That's why they're targeting you, because of your faith. It's an element in you. It's a world of in you through your faith that becomes a whole world that expands over the matrix. It's an atom inside of you that believes that those things don't have to come to pass. That becomes a world just from your faith. The Bible says if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, then you can say to this mountain, be removed, and it shall be removed. But you have to have the world of that which you believe in existence in you, and it expands into reality, and it usurps over the matrix. So the matrix is all about your faith. What do you believe? Do you believe you can be do you believe America can be destroyed? Do you believe America can be defeated? No, you don't. That's why you became a slave. That's why black people ain't speaking up. That's why people ain't speaking up. Because you do not believe. So what happens in the matrix when you don't believe is you become a slave. That's what happens. See, not only am I like Neo, but because of my experience, and I was already here before y'all was, I'm like Morpheus at the same time. So I'm like Morpheus and Neo. See, that's God's kingdom. Only God's kingdom can be Morpheus and Neo. Because I'm already in a position. I already know what the matrix is. You thought you knew from this information, but you the same community that didn't even know your country was marrying children. You didn't even know they was marrying children in the matrix. So how are you Morpheus? How are you Morpheus And you didn't even know they was marrying children in America. No, you're not Morpheus, buddy. You could be Neo. Maybe. Maybe. You could be Tank. You want to be Tank? You want to be Tank, don't you? We'll make you Tank. You Tank, ain't you? Listen, man. I'm Morpheus. I'm already here. Now you see, they made us the enemy. It's just like it is supposed to be. They're following us around everywhere, just like the Matrix. That's how it's supposed to be. You see what's going on? The difference is, I don't need a Neo because I play both positions. I play Morpheus and I play Neo. Because I have enough faith that the mark of the beast, the New World Order, and the Antichrist, none of that has to happen. And just like the Matrix, we don't have to be in one position. They was mobile all the time. That's why we don't get stuck on no one position. Because soon the enemy is gonna come to any position we at. Just like the Matrix. In the Matrix, they came in any position. Right? Wherever you was, they was gonna show up eventually. The enemies, the agents was gonna show up eventually. Right? So we're always mobile. If you notice, in the Matrix, Morpheus, Trinity, and Neo was always mobile. They was always mobile. They was always running around and going here and there and moving around. They was mobile. See, in the last days, you gotta be mobile. I speak to the whole body of Christ that God will mobilize you. That you would, wherever you are anchored, that you will be mobile. You will learn to be mobile. Because all the enemy is going to do is surround you and put you on the grid. That's what he's trying to do with me, and it don't work. So then you can't sit in one place for so long when you're on these levels. When you're on these levels above the Matrix, and you're like Zion, right? You can't stay in no one place for a long time. And so they're going to think whatever they want to think. But you in the Matrix, you're mobile. You're always mobile. You're God's mobile Neo and Morpheus. And you don't stay still. You got to keep moving. Okay? And how we prove that we're Neo, how I prove it is we have faith that the mark of the beast doesn't have to happen. That's the highest level of faith. Think about what I'm saying. This is evil after all. Why couldn't you have enough faith to say that God doesn't have to do that if he doesn't want to? And he can do whatever he wants. See, it takes that level of faith to be Neo. And then you live in that. Now you're the resistance. Now they can't stand it. You know why? Because you are literally a faith threat against the New World Order. You're a threat literally because you believe. You remember when Morpheus said to Neo, he's starting to believe. He's starting to believe. In order to be Neo, some of y'all have flattered yourself. You're not Neo. You know why I know you know why you know you're not Neo? Because you still don't believe. What are you supposed to believe? You're supposed to believe that God will ultimately destroy the New World Order, the mark of the beast, the Antichrist. That God doesn't have to let it even come to pass. That it doesn't even have to come on the horizon. That level of faith, because everybody knows it's going to be defeated, right? Christians will believe the New World Order, the mark of the beast is going to be defeated. Neo faith is it doesn't even have to come to pass. The Antichrist doesn't even have to come on the scene. The New World Order doesn't even have to happen. The mark of the beast doesn't even have to happen if God doesn't want it to happen. See, you should have knew a prophet in 2026 was going to be like Neo, was going to be futuristic. You think about a prophet with sandals and a long robe, you're simple-minded. A prophet is not going to appear in 2026 with robes and a sandal. You know what I'm saying? With robes and with sandals. God's people is futuristic. It's self-explanatory, but you was too simple-minded to see it. If I'm a prophet, I'm already in the future. A prophet speaks to the future and is of the future. So how would I be ancient in nature? Because you're simple-minded. That's why you have to listen to me and understand I'm always ahead of everybody. So if I tell you America's the enemy, I'm saying it before you realize it. I'm saying it before you come to the level of understanding this. So you're already aware of it. And if you're smart, you latch on to the mentality instantly. The best hears the prophet and instantaneously latches on to his perspective. The rest that are not the best, it takes you years and years to realize the same thing I told you. I already told you they're the enemy. It's nothing you can do about it. It's just whether you're going to come to terms with it now or later. But you're going to come to terms with it. It's just whether you want to come to terms with it now or later. Okay? Listen, you can't explain how it happened. That's where you're stuck at in your mind. You're trying to explain to yourself how. You can't explain it. You can't explain it. I can't explain it totally. But the one thing we do know is this. Satan is real and his kingdom is real, right? So then listen to what I'm saying. What do you think he's going to do with America? What you think Satan is going to do with America? He's going to come in and lay it and make it and control it to be against us. You see what I'm saying? To be against godly people. And that's why you can't explain it. You know why you can't explain it? Because the satanic kingdom is behind America. Spirits. And they're not, see, and this is where Christians get stuck, because you don't want to accept that they've become the enemy. But because you think that America wouldn't be your enemy. It's not America. It's the satanic kingdom. So this is how you need to hear it. They got hijacked by the satanic kingdom. Oof. That should break your heart right there. You should shed tears right there. Your heart should be broken right there. They were hijacked by the satanic kingdom. Why do you think everything is off like this? Satan has come to America. So if you're stuck on people and personalities, and then you the main one say we don't fight against flesh and blood, that's oxymoron for you. Because you should be able to see that it's possible that this will happen because the satanic kingdom is overtaking America. Spirits are overtaking America. It's not human beings that's putting this in this position. It's spirits. So it's the spirits behind the community that is satanic. It's there. It's there. It exists. So if you put personalities in it like Trump and other people, you're gonna be so sadly deceived. Because it's the spirits behind the community. And that's how you know it's not gonna go away. That's like saying the satanic kingdom is just gonna go away. How is it gonna go away? How is Satan just gonna go away? He's not gonna go away. You see what I'm saying? And so when you realize he's behind the community, you see what I'm saying? He's not going away. He's behind the community. He's behind America. Why would he go away? You see what you're dealing with? And that's when you realize, because Satan is behind America, America is the enemy. You see what happened? And where your hang up is you're stuck on personalities and nostalgia in the culture, in the famous people, in the music, and all of that. And Satan is behind America, literally, in the background. And it ain't nothing you can do about it. That's why the energy is the way it is. What you're feeling is the Satanic kingdom is behind America. And you can't get hung up on personalities. The police can't do nothing about it. They know something going on. Military can't do nothing about it. They know all the stuff you trust in, realize is something weird going on. Everybody knows. And if you think it's a rinky-dink punk gang stalker that's behind it, you're delusional. You said yourself that we don't fight against flesh and blood, but principalities, wickedness, spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what the Bible says. You reference to that all the time. So then what you think it is that made America become the enemy? Spirits made America become the enemy. I'm going to do a video about that. Demonic spirits made America become the enemy. They formed around in America and made America become the enemy. And you can't do nothing about it. That's why you can't shake it. That's why it still feels a certain way. It's not the illegal migrants. It's not the presence of people in secret. It's not that either, even though you can pick up on that. Because you can feel this illegal people. That's an energy. But that's not all it is. It is the satanic kingdom behind America. It's there. It's here. That's why it's always going to be the enemy from this point forward. You see what I'm saying? And there's nothing we can do about it. So when I tell you America's the enemy, you get how you take it is you get stuck on personalities and generations of America. And you're a Christian. You should know better than that. Okay, so then it's not about personalities. You're the first in line to say we don't fight against flesh and blood, or we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, right? You're the first in line to say that. Okay, so then when I'm saying this, why you think about people? Woo! When I tell you, hold up, America's the enemy, why is you stuck on people? When I tell you America, the American government is the enemy, why are you stuck on people? This is the greatest country in the world. Then you should know demonic spirits is behind the people. And that makes America the enemy because of the demons behind them. Oh, listen, man, listen. Now, this is the part where human beings are involved. They align themselves with demonic spirits through doing what demonic spirits want them to do. By not even being Christians, listen to this very closely, they can be manipulated by demonic spirits and aligned with the satanic kingdom. You see what I'm saying? Leaders, real leaders deal with this. They deal with high levels of demonic spirits because those demons want control or to control that person to get control. This is why everything that Donald Trump is doing, God has control of it, and there's a tug of war where demonic spirits are whispering in Donald Trump's ears, telling him what to do, telling him what not to do. It's all kind of demons. Trump knows the devil is real. You know how he know? Because I know them demons gonna come and whisper in your ear. Those demons gonna come around you Oh, Trump probably told you he feels something weird, something strange. I guarantee you most of these presidents in America, if they're honest, they know that God is real. And why they know? Because them satanic spirits is coming. They gonna come and try to hijack your position. They gonna come to try to control your position. So they gonna come literally in your room to try to control you, to try to manipulate you for the satanic kingdom. Now, if you got eyes to see, the satanic kingdom has a formation in America over the government and the community and the culture. More than one place. Not just the government, the community too. And with the gang stalking and the collective gang stalking and the guerrilla warfare, that's all spirits behind the people. That's what it is. That's why you can't take it personal. But if they align themselves, they get destroyed with spirits. See, that's what happens. If you align yourself with spirits, when God's judgment comes and you're still there, you get destroyed with the spirits. You get defeated with the spirits. The spirits just fly off and you get defeated. They fly off, God's judgment comes and destroys what the alignment, right? That you have with demons. That alignment is destroyed. Guess how it's destroyed? You have to die. Well, God has to stop this alignment. He has to stop the demons, the people that the demons are using. He has to stop the demons, the people that demons are using. So when God comes and see the alignment that people have with demons, they die to stop that alliance. Now the demon doesn't have a body. Now the demon doesn't have someone to use and speak to the people. This is how deep it is when it comes to America being the enemy. Now you get it. You stuck on how America used to be and the love and all of that and the celebrities. That's gone. It's been hijacked by the satanic kingdom. It is not just the gay stuff or the lesbian stuff. It's more than that. It's the whole satanic kingdom, right? Has aligned itself. Here's the major alignment, the mega alignment. The mega alignment is the satanic kingdom aligned with America. Oof. So guess what has to happen? Just like one person. That alignment has to be destroyed. When you align yourself with the satanic kingdom, that has to be destroyed. That alignment has to be destroyed. So guess what? America has to be destroyed to stop that alignment that it has with the satanic kingdom, where it's working for the satanic kingdom. That's how a judgment is going to work in this case. God comes and sees the alignment and destroys it. How is it destroyed successfully? Satan doesn't have America to use anymore. He's been using it against God's people. Look at how everything we're going through. What you think it is? It's the satanic kingdom behind it. And people are flattering themselves thinking it's them. No, it's not them. And for Christians, you should be first in line because you're the first one to say we don't fight against human beings. Okay, here we go. So then we're fighting against satanic spirits behind America. And see, right there is where you don't believe it. You know why? Because you think America's an angel. Oh. In other words, you think America is heroic, a heroic country, heroes, and they fight good and they fight evil and they do good. Sorry, buddy. See, if you really are a believer and a Christian, you know that eventually the satanic kingdom is going to hijack America. You know that the satanic kingdom is going to hijack this country, which means not like it used to be. There's some spirits that has hijacked this whole government and community. And now they function in alignment with the satanic kingdom, not more than ever before. And that's what's happening. So that's why that alignment has made them the enemy. And God is going to destroy that alignment, which means America has to be destroyed because of the alignment it has with the Satanic kingdom. That's why if you Christians, you being gang stalked. Why you think that is? Because the community is in alliance too with the Satanic kingdom. That's not the government by itself. It could be part of it. The government could allow it and endorse it or whatever and finance it. But ultimately, the community is doing the groundwork. They're doing the footwork, right? They the foot soldiers, right? For gang stalking. Okay, they also have aligned themselves with the Satanic kingdom. So when God sees the community alignment, he destroys the community. See, you're not ready. You're not ready. He destroys the community when he sees the alliance. When he sees the alliance in alignment. People have alliance with the Satanic kingdom. And that's alignment. Through works of the flesh, people have alliance. Whether they say they Satanists or not, they have alliance through the works of the flesh. That gives alignment. Alliance gives alignment. How the alignment has the ultimate foundation for a community alliance with Satan. Community alignment with Satan by way of the community is through the works of the flesh. That's how they are aligned with the Satanic kingdom. So the works of the flesh from the American community makes them aligned with the Satanic kingdom. And they can be manipulated to do other things that they don't know what they're doing. Because they already have alliance through the works of the flesh, which makes them aligned with the Satanic kingdom. This is how this works. This is the energy that's in the air. Okay? And it's not going nowhere. See, witchcraft people, they can't explain this. No, they can't explain it because their eyes are closed. Satan used them like a demonic mule and just do them, and all they know is to do rituals and all kind of little stuff like that and manipulate people. But they have no idea of the overall reality of what I just told you. How could they know? It's not revealed to them. They're not it's not supposed to be revealed to them. It's not supposed to be. They're not aware. We are. So ultimately, we are the haven for humanity. We are the ones who reveal what's going to happen, not them. They can't, you notice they can't reveal what's going to really happen. You know they can't reveal what's presently going on in the overall world. Did you notice a witch can't tell you what's going on in the overall world like I just did? Why would that happen? Because Satan wouldn't want it revealed. So why would he reveal it to them? He ain't gonna put their mind on that. He gonna put their mind way somewhere else for what the reality is, which is Satan his kingdom has aligned itself with America, and therefore they've become the enemy. That's what it is. So, it's no way, you can get around this. These people have become the enemy because they align themselves with the Satanic kingdom. That's what it is. We can't do nothing about it. We have to move forward with strategy. We have to move forward with strategy and use our weapons of fasting and giving offerings concerning this country, America. It's the problem in the world. What you don't want to accept also is America has become like a Nazi country. In other words, maybe not by worldview, but how destructive they are in the world. like the Nazis. And see, you, once again, you get hung up on personalities from America. You get hung up on the population instead of realizing the Satanic kingdom has come in and aligned itself with America. Now it's the enemy of the world. You know why? You know why? You know why they keep coming up in the news as enemies? Because more than anywhere else, Satan has aligned himself with this country. Can't you feel it? Where do you think he at? Satan's kingdom is here. I hate to tell you, but I don't hate to tell you. This Satanic kingdom is here. It has aligned itself with the population. That's why you're being gang stalked, and people don't know why they didn't stop. You know why you didn't stop gang stalking? Because you are aligned with the Satanic kingdom. Now your conscience is kicking in and you don't want to live. You know why? You know why? Because that's your humanity. That's your real mind and thoughts kicking in. But you didn't realize when you aligned yourself with darkness, you was manipulated. That's why you can't understand why we did this, because you was manipulated. You was almost demon possessed, some would say, to where you was just doing things for the Satanic kingdom. Now you hear a voice of reason like me and you snap out of it. Pfft. See that part? See that part? That's what a man of God gonna do. We cast out devils. We cast out wicked mindsets. Now you can see clearly what happened to you. You know what happened? You went into witchcraft and you got aligned with the Satanic kingdom. And now you're waking up like, why did I do that? Why would? Because you willingly went into darkness, and then you went further than you humanly would, because a spirit took you that far. A spirit took you that far. You didn't take yourself that far. See, that's why we can't take it personal, because the witchcraft, hallelujah, is what pushed them to go as far as they did. Because now that they was using witchcraft, they was mobilized by demonic spirits against us. So how you need to hear it is, it's deeper than personalities. Don't get hung up on personalities. It's spirits behind the people. And you've almost heard this like cliche, but I want you to look at it from the prophet's angle. It is spirits that has aligned itself with humanity in America. It aligned itself with them. And that's why they bugged out in all of these different weird satanic positions, because they are aligned with the Satanic kingdom. They're aligned with demonic spirits. Satan's kingdom is him and his demonic spirits. That's who it is. He doesn't come to people usually, only leaders. Satan will come to leaders, but he sends his demonic spirits to humanity, celebrities, community, and all of that. So when I say the devil comes to people, if I use it like that, I'm saying his demonic spirits. His demonic spirits gonna come to people. You know, and see, for you to understand witchcraft is for you to understand people have to sell their soul. They have to give up some of their self, and that's how they get that power. Because you might wonder, how does it happen? They give up some of their self. They do oaths. They do oaths and things and that's where they get the power. Just like you get the power from God when you give your soul to God. You get power, don't you? Okay, so it's just like that. Where it's all this stuff that, and how you are anointed and you got spiritual power and everything, and it's amazing. It's the same thing. They don't get the same thing, but it's the same concept of this stuff that no one can believe that they do, because they sold their soul to do it. They gave an oath to do it. That's all it is. So it's not so much them, it's the oath that they took. That's how I explain it. Just like it's not you that preaches. It's not you that's anointed. You came to God and repented, and you aligned yourself with God's kingdom. That's why you're able to do what you're doing. It's not because of you. It's who you aligned yourself with. You aligned yourself with God. So now God is using you with power. Now you got power from God. It's not because of your personality. It's the same thing with witchcraft people. They align themselves with the satanic kingdom, and that's why they have all kind of things you don't know nothing about. You see what I'm saying? And how you figure it out is look at God's kingdom. You got anointing, you got revelation knowledge, you got information that's out this world, right? They over there with stuff out this world too. But they have to take an oath. They have to do like we come to God. We repent, and we take an oath where we you know what I mean? We are loyal to God. We vow to be his servants. And that's when, you know what I mean, right? We live a lifestyle of alliance and loyalty to God. And then the power is released. It's the same thing on their side. That's how you got to understand how they walk in it. Because of alliance, oaths they take. Then they get the power. Just like you ain't going to get no power on God's side until you are serious. And then that's when it's going to come. And it's not so much who you are. It's more so about your alliance. That's what gives the power. Is your alliance. How serious you are and what you do to prove your alliance. Okay? That's how they get the power. So if you wonder, how can they read minds? And they read minds back, they gave a part of themselves. Those people ain't gonna never, most of them ain't gonna never be right again. They gave up some of themselves, just like you gave yourself to God. Right? They gave themselves to the satanic kingdom. And through that, just like you received power from God, they received power when they gave themselves to the satanic kingdom. See what I'm saying? It's just like you got born again and you got power. They got not born again, but they got dead again and gave themselves to the satanic kingdom over there. See what happened? And through that, they was given a certain amount of power. And they grew just like you growing in your anointing, they growing in satanic power. Just like a little Christian grows and becomes powerful in God, they grow over there and they become powerful in the satanic kingdom. So see, that's what we're dealing with. And once they've done that, right, they have become the enemy. This country. Because these are citizens, these are people. And when they have aligned themselves with the satanic kingdom, they have become the enemy, man. Therefore, America is the enemy. And now you've heard it conceived properly. This is why. You're hung up on personalities. You're hung up on the rock and roll and the music. And you still got that in your soul. And it's a hard thing to break. We all got certain artists, if we real, that we still kind of got in our heart. These musicians, these rappers, these singers, we got some people that's still in our heart. Let's keep it 100. Even though you might not have the culture in your heart, you still got certain rappers and singers in your heart, don't you? Because that's how powerful the nostalgia is from America. That's how powerful it is. And that's what you stuck on when that's your hang up. When I tell you they the enemy, you're going to start thinking about all the nostalgia. That's deception too. You start thinking about all the history. It ain't no need to think about it because now the satanic kingdom has come down like aliens. That's how you need to hear it. It's always been wicked in the world, but now it's like an invasion of satanic spirits that has aligned itself with the community and the government. That's why it's different. You don't see the difference? What you think that means? It's the alignment. of the Satanic kingdom with America, more than it ever was, more intense than it ever was. And listen, we had no choice but to make them the enemy through their alliance, through their alignment with the Satanic kingdom. I finally conceived it like it needed to be said. How America is the enemy. This is what it is. And see, the prophet is always ahead of everybody. You'll be watching this video, you know, a couple years from now and saying, wow, this is right. Because you got so much more to see. This is the worst crap show you're going to ever see, is America. Because as it went up, it has to come down. And when it comes down, America is going to be one of the most biggest crap shows you ever seen in your life. It's going to be one of the biggest crap shows you ever seen in your life. Because so much has to be destroyed, and there's so much ego, and so much people that are egotistical and arrogant and everything else, and they think they're alpha males and everything like that. It's going to be so much arrogant and destruction because of arrogance and ego, and how they fall is going to be so hard because of their ego. That's how I want to say it. It's going to be so much noise because of their arrogance and pride. You see what I'm talking about? When this country falls. And we still gonna survive as a token of God's power. You have become a token of God's power to show people that, listen, how you think America just can kill this prophet, it ain't gonna happen. You don't think we thought about that? Have you thought about that? Oh, how they think they can kill you? Listen, it can't happen. And the reason why is because God is going to keep you alive to show the community his power. That's why you have to realize you're doing God's will, not yours. Which means you do have to be in a position where they want you dead. But then God keeps you alive for his glory. But in order for that to even happen, you got to believe certain things. You got to speak certain things for you to become their enemy to where they want you dead. And God's going to keep you alive. God is going to keep you alive. You don't worry about cruelty no more in the last days. It's a whole cruel world now. It's a whole cruel world where people want the worst things to happen to you. And you got to listen. They want the worst things to happen to you. And you gotta let it roll off your back like water off a duck's back. You can't even take it personal. Like people living in the horror, like in the horror film. You know, if you running through this movie and all these people want you dead, you gonna have your heart broken, or you gonna keep fighting. You gonna keep fighting. You don't care if they want you dead. So what? See what I'm saying? When you look at a movie, the character doesn't care that people want him dead. So what? He ain't broken about it. He ain't depressed about it. He ain't suicidal. He's going to survive. And that's how you got to be. You got to be like a character in a movie where it's all chaos and pandemonium. And everybody's crazy, right? Like the movie, like The Walking Dead, the show Walking Dead. You've seen that, right? Okay, in that show, they ain't worried about people that want to kill them. They're not heartbroken by that. So you become, in these final hours, a person that is not overly sensitive about cruelty towards you. You're not overly sensitive, like you're living in a hardened world where everybody wants to kill each other. So your heart is not even broken. See that part? You detach from the social aspect of your community where your emotions is on your sleeve concerning how they feel about you. Now you don't care at all what they feel, and you running like the Matrix, progressing, advancing, not caring about how they see you, not caring if they want you dead. Your heart ain't even broken about that. Your emotions don't even connect with that. You don't even connect your heart or your soul or your mind with that. So what? They want you dead. So what? You're in a world now where it's all war. When it's all war on the battlefield, your enemy Your enemy wants you dead. If you a soldier, all of them want you dead. So how you become? You become a person that just killing as many as you can. You killing everybody. When you on the battlefield, you ain't saying, oh, I just wish I can't believe they want me dead. You ain't running around with a gun talking about, I can't believe they want me dead. I'm losing I'm getting stressed out because all these people want me dead. You don't get stressed out. You see, the soldier comes to terms with it. You see what I'm saying? You come to terms with these people wanting you dead, and listen, and you survive. You do what you gotta do. That's how you have to become. You no longer even care. You don't care. You don't put your heart on your sleeve. You don't put your emotions on your sleeve. You do not internalize any feelings from these people anymore. You can't. It's manipulation. See, it becomes manipulation. If I treat you a certain way, I can try to make you feel a certain way. If I'm cruel to you, hopefully I can break your heart with this cruelty. Hopefully I can break your heart with psychological games. So now you become hardened in the last days where none of that ain't even working. Because now you're in a fallen world, almost like a post-apocalyptic world, where you're not focused on that aspect of life anymore. If you notice in these movies, in a post-apocalyptic world, no one's focused on emotions as much as they once was in the world before that happened. In a normal world, when a social aspect of the world is intact, it's no longer intact. Right? The social aspect of the world is no longer intact anymore. So then you don't focus on it. You don't focus on no social aspect of the world anymore because it could be manipulation for you. You begin to suppress your emotions like a soldier. A soldier doesn't go on the battlefield with their emotions on their sleeve. You have to suppress it in your gut. You see people dying, you shoot people, you kill people. You can't say, oh, I just killed another person. Oh, a soldier learns to suppress their emotions. That's how you got to become. This is God's kingdom. We are the best. That's why people are going to see me rise. And I'm not the Antichrist. I'm not a false prophet. People gonna see me rise, and I'm none of that. I'm God's soldier. It took a soldier in these times. It couldn't be someone that was in the normal flow of American Christianity that could have came into this position. No, because they would have felt that I ain't gonna oppose no community. I ain't gonna oppose human beings. So you would have just been a person that was praying for these people and trying to help them. But they too align with darkness. So it takes a soldier to understand that. It takes a certain type of person that come from a certain generation. See, God knows what he's doing. It's even a certain generation. See, my generation understands certain things. God knows every generation and what they understand. That's how great and magnificent God is. He's almighty. He understands the world views of each generation. And when he chooses you, what that tells you is something about your generation. It's the information of your generation. You see that part? Where I seen 9/11. I was a 20-year-old kid. I was 20 years old. I was a 20-year-old young man. I seen 9/11. As a 20-year-old man. So that's began to form my opinion of war in the world we live in from the time I was 20 years old. So 9/11 happened when I was 20, right? So I looked at the world as war. I looked at the world as cruel, with people blowing up buildings and killing people. That began to form my worldview. That's why my generation is like we don't mind going to war because we already if that happened when you in your 20s, you gonna think we going to war. This is the kind of mindset you're gonna have. The whole generation of Generation X and the millennials, most of us gonna think it's time to go to war. We was thinking like that. Not necessarily saying who the enemy is, just the dynamic of it, right? This going to war kind of mentality. So 24 years later, man, you like, I'm a general, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, the Americans aligned themselves with the Satanic kingdom. They didn't have to do it because God commands that his word be the commandment of the government. But see, it'll never happen again in this country. The word of God is supposed to govern. If you don't know, this is for politicians. If you don't know, the word of God in its entirety is supposed to dictate what laws are passed and what is allowed to happen in the country by law. And you see this perfectly with Muslim countries. The Quran dictates what the community does and can't do, right? And if you are a Christian nation, you just like the Quran dictates a Muslim country, the Bible's supposed to dictate a Christian country. And this is how we know you don't belong to God. A country that's a Muslim country, the Quran dictates everything. It's no doubt about it. They don't come in and say, well, we kind of halfway Muslim, but you can kind of do your own thing over here. But we a Muslim country, but you can kind of do your thing over there. No. The Quran dictates everything that they do in that country. But see, people in America, you think that's extreme. It's extreme for the Bible to dictate our lives. See what I'm saying? And that's the nucleus of the problem. Is people do not want, like a real Christian supposed to, you don't want the Bible to dictate your life, do you? See, that's what I'm saying. But you want your cake and eat it too. You want God's protection, but you don't want the Bible to dictate how you live your life. As a community, it don't work like that, buddy. See, a Muslim will understand what I'm talking about. Because you can go to their countries, you can go to a Muslim country, and the whole country moves based on the Quran. It's no exceptions. They gonna reference to the Quran about anything out of line. They gonna reference to the Quran and say, according to the Quran, you know what it says here, you must be sentenced to death. No questions asked. A Muslim would say, now I believe in this Christian because in our country, if you claim to be a Muslim country, we have the Quran dictate the whole laws, everything, our whole life. How you say you're a Christian country? The Muslims gonna say, how you gonna say you're a Christian country when the Bible does not dictate all the laws that you pass? Therefore, how could the God of the Bible be with you if you let people do everything against the Bible in your country, including the leaders? This is what the Muslims are going to say. It's ridiculous. It's not a Christian country. That's ridiculous. They don't even believe that. Muslims don't even believe it. Muslims do not believe America is a Christian country. No. The first thing they're going to look at is their own countries. Well, the Quran dictates everything we do over here. Well, why the Bible doesn't dictate what you do? And y'all just do whatever y'all want to do. Then guess what they consider you? Muslims consider you just another type of little religion with a little belief in a little religious belief. That's what they think. And basically, guess what? That's what it is. It's not a real connection with God. It's just a little belief. It's just a religious belief. See what I'm saying? Now, the Muslims, over there in their country, the Quran dictates everything in everyday life. All of life. All of it. In the public and in the government. That's a Muslim country. Now, imagine if I say this is a Muslim country and they doing everything over there. And the government allows the people to do everything. Do you feel like that's a Muslim country? Specifically? No, you wouldn't feel like it's a Muslim country because they doing all this stuff. How is a Muslim country? So when you see a Muslim country, they live as Muslims. Right. They the only place, whether you like it or not, keep it 100. They the only place that say they a certain religion and they live that religion as a whole community. We don't live no Christian life as a whole community. So then why would you expect God to protect you? Because in your arrogance of American supremacy, you think America got everything, even God. Oh, we got Jesus Christ right over here. We got Starbucks over here, McDonald's over here. See the picture I'm painting? And we got Jesus Christ over there in the corner. America became a place that thought they could have it all, but you can't. Now you're singing the Whitney Houston song. Didn't we almost have it all? That's your story. That's the story of America. Didn't we almost have it all? Didn't we almost have it all? You could have had everything. This country could have been beautiful, but you chose to be racist. You chose to keep black people behind on purpose, and now you don't want to talk about it. Now it's a conversation that you don't even want to address how much you kept black people behind in America. Oh, it's an elephant in the room. We know you did it. You kept black people behind all those decades. You did it on purpose. Now we evolved as black people. We think for ourselves. And we realize our eyes are open how much you kept us behind on purpose. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. How we in this country and we just barely getting to the suburbs now. We just barely becoming rich. We only enjoying how many years of being rich as black people? 40 years? 40 years of being rich. Being really rich. That's about right. Bro, America, listen, black people we've only enjoyed about 50 years, 60 years of being rich at best. So what was happening the whole other time? We was being manipulated, and we know that. Even then, when we had these last years, 60 years of being rich, that wasn't all of us. It didn't speak for the collective community. It didn't affect the wealth. Ultimately, wasn't all in the community like it is in the white community, where people just had money you ain't even know them. They had millions of dollars, no name people. Anytime we get millions of dollars, everybody gotta know you basically. White people, they got a whole community of rich people that you don't know. You don't know them. They do random stuff in America like it's supposed to be. And they got money. They got millions of dollars. They've had it like that the whole time. They held us back. You want to know how they held you back? They held you back through the cost of living. This is why, listen, I'm telling you as a prophet, listen, always listen to me from a different angle. Always. The cost of living was racism, modern day racism. Oh, I ain't gonna call you a nigga no more. Guess what I'm gonna do? Cost of living. You ain't gonna be able to get to my neighborhood no matter how hard you work. Look at all these black dudes, mandingos, right? 6'5", 6'2", 200 pounds, big arms, big legs. How they can't be rich just from physical work like it's supposed to be? Because they didn't make a system that complemented the physique of people. They did not make a system based on hard work, literally, because that was our strong suit as Mandingos. So if I'm racist and I know you got a big old body, okay, well, I ain't gonna let you get rich from working hard. No, you got a big old body, you'll become rich instantly. Big as your body is, you'll work all day like a mule, and you'll be able to get to my neighborhood. So how am I gonna stop you from getting to my neighborhood? Because you a Mandingo. If I base the system on hard work, getting rich off of hard work, you're gonna be there in no time. Because if you was black as a leader, wouldn't you make the system based, and you love black people, wouldn't you make the system based on hard work? Because you see your people got big physiques. You got 6'3", 6'5", even big women, right? Wouldn't you make a system that complements that? Where if you just work hard, and that's not hard to ask from humanity, is it? That's not a hard demand. That's not a bad principle. If you work hard, you're going to be rich. It ain't like that. You know what they did? They based being rich on education. Do you realize it don't have to be like that? See, you so brainwashed in America, you didn't realize it. They made the system where being rich is based on education. Guess what? They knew you wasn't going to have it. Because they crippled us mentally, where they didn't even want us to read in slavery times. And it's an ongoing joke. If you want to hide something from a black man, what you do? You put it in a book, right? That's what they say about us. If you want to hide something from a black man, put it in the book. If you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book. So they created a system where even if you're smart, you ain't got enough money to go to college. You ain't got enough money to go to college. You see what I'm saying? See the system. And that way we form a new form of segregation based on finances. We're going to segregate you based on riches and money and poverty. Now we ain't got to worry about, even though it's no more racism allowed, and you can work hard, we ain't got to worry about you coming over here. Because we done mess with this system so perfectly, you most likely ain't gonna get enough money to go to school. That's the only system. We ain't gonna let you work hard enough because you a Mandingo. You can outwork all of us. Me personally, I have walked from one city to another. That's how strong I am, physically. I have walked from one city to a whole nother city. You ever done that? I walked to a whole nother state, from Florida to Georgia, on foot. See, you don't know my full legend. Part of my legend is I walked from one state to another. They seen it. They seen me walk from Florida to Georgia. Not crying, not depressed, not crazy. Migrating like a real African. From Florida to Georgia. They never seen it in our modern day and time. Not like that, under pressure and then war at the same time. Not like that. Shows my physical strength. You can see my physical strength right now. They see with black African, it's not just your height, it's your soul. Your soul comes from Africans that was in slavery. You telling me you ain't gonna be strong? You built to be strong. They already know that. It's in your genes. It's in the energy of your genes. It's in the energy of your blood. It gotta be. That gotta be in there. Where you're strong because of your ancestors. Whether it's by spiritual means or genetic means. Make sense? Because even an animal, if an animal goes through a certain environment, the next generations is going to be stronger in that same environment. Did you hear that? So how much more a human being? Some things we can't explain all the way. But I know I'm strong based on my ancestors. I know that much. And they know that too. They know that too, right? They know the next generation is going to be stronger. So what they got to do, they got to dumb you down. They got to do all kind of crazy stuff to play with you. They got to make you use that strength against each other. If you was willing to kill them, then it would have been a whole different situation. See, they made us kill each other. But see, if you would have turned around and used African strength to be ready to kill them, it would have been a whole different situation. Oh, it would have been a whole different situation. See what I'm talking about? Listen, I'm willing to kill whoever's in my way. I don't think about just killing black people. I think about killing anybody in my way. But if you notice some of the mindsets of the people, they never actually say that. They never say, well, I kill anybody. They might think subconsciously about it, but guess what? Some people ain't gonna really go through with it because they trained you not to kill white people. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Look how they mourn white people. One person, they mourn them like it's like they're 1,000 people in one. You get killed every day. You get killed every day. Do they mourn you? Do they mourn you all on the news? No, they don't, buddy. You just important as them. Your life matters just as much as theirs. But that's not how the system is built. They act like killing you disposable. While you alive the whole time, you disposable. And guess what? And this is how it works in America. You're disposable until you stand up and fight for your life. Until you stand up and distinguish yourself from that. That's how it works. You have to stand up and distinguish yourself. Other than that, you disposable to these people. But let one of them die. Let a white girl die. That white girl that just died. She got killed by an illegal migrant, right? They mourned her like she was 1,000 people. And I'm starting to realize that. They'll mourn one white person. And guess what? They teaching you to value white lives way more. See, even the news is teaching you that. Oh, they just skip over what happened to you. Oh, they mourn a white woman. They mourn a white person. But look how much you die all the time. And higher psychology makes it to where you value their lives more. We all do it. Oh, a white girl done died. That's how good and trained they got everybody. You halfway about to cry because a white girl died. Black girls die all the time. Black people die all the time. And what you think? Oh, that's a shame. You see that? You see that? You almost don't have no feelings behind it or nothing. Unless a child is behind it, that's it. But if ain't no child behind it, you don't halfway got no emotions for nobody that's a grown man. Even when they become teenagers, you stop having any kind of feelings when they die. Because you halfway believe they the reason why. See, but it's a sense of truth to that. And therefore, we show less emotion. Especially when we know you was out there in the streets. See what I'm saying? But we know these white folks ain't out there in the streets, right? See how it's tricky? So then you value a life that, oh, okay, this person was out the way. That's what you're going to notice. Like this white girl, they said she was walking the water at night. That's messed up. It is messed up. She was walking the water. And some illegal dude killed her. And they talk about something with his brain. Well, when we kill people, they not worried about our brain. They put us to death. Man, I know they kill mentally ill people with the chair. So look, man, they talking about this dude got a brain problem. Okay, so why he ain't kill nobody before he killed her then? No, that's the logic of a smart man. If he had a brain problem like that, where he just killed people, that's what you're insinuating, then why he didn't do it before? Why he didn't do it earlier? Why he didn't do it in Venezuela? Huh? But all of a sudden he just had a manic episode? Is that what you're telling me? He just seen perfectly normal people. Nah, I don't buy that, bro. I don't buy that. I think that was evil. That's what I think. I think it was evil and he had a choice. I think even the most mentally sick people still have a choice when they realize their life is on the line. If he realized he would have died, he would have done it. If I tell you fire is hot, you think he gonna jump in the fire? He ain't gonna jump in the fire, right? So he has to perceive danger. He has to perceive a threat. which means in his psychology, he can be stopped. No, hold up. Now listen. You didn't hear that, did you? If you don't just jump in the fire, that means you perceive a threat with your mind, right? No, this is higher psychology. You don't jump in that fire, do you? Okay, so you can apply the fire to anything. Where I know if I do that, that's fire. I sense that that's wrong and that will damage me and destroy me. So, but if you crazy, you just jump in the fire. I don't think that everybody that does those things is mental. I think they're evil. I think we're going to start seeing, and I've said this before, we're going to start seeing evil people do things. And everybody want to say so bad that it's mental sickness. Of course, there's something mental going on. See, with evil, it gets tricky. Of course, this person has a mental problem because of the stuff they're doing. But it's the evil in their heart that's making them do that. That's leading them this way. That's the difference between mental sickness. When evil, it's a matter of the heart. It's not the matter of the mind. It might seem like it is, because they got thoughts of doing this and killing people and whatever, right? Just for no reason. But it's really the heart. It's an evil heart. A snake heart. The heart of a snake. And we're going to start seeing things that people can't explain. You can't say, oh, this person's mentally sick. Like the woman that killed her 5-month-old baby here in New York. And she was a prominent doctor. You can go look it up. This was about a couple years ago, about 2024, I think. She was a prominent doctor. She shot her baby, 5-month-old baby girl, and killed herself. That's evil. What you gonna say is postpartum depression? If I'm saying that right? Listen, man, listen. That's evil. This woman was a prominent doctor. So she ain't mentally sick. She wasn't mentally sick. Think about what I'm saying. This woman ran, I looked at an article, and this woman ran whole facilities. She ran more than one facility. She was a prominent doctor. She was known. She was a very known doctor in New York. She killed her daughter, a 5-month-old girl, 2 years ago. No more than 2 years ago. She killed her 5-month-old girl with a gun. She killed her with a gun. Which means she probably shot her in the head. That's evil, bro. That's not mental sickness. That's evil. Look at these people killing their families in America. Look at that one man that killed his wife, his daughters, and almost killed the son. But he got away. I don't know if you're seeing all of this stuff. This white guy killed his wife, his 2 daughters, if I'm not mistaken, and the son was like 17, I think, and he got away. But he got shot too, though. This is real. I think, and this happened like 2 years ago. This happened about 2 years ago. We are not going to be able to explain all these things all the time with mental sickness. I'm trying to tell you. It's some stuff that's going to happen. You can't explain it talking about mentally sick. It's not going to be anything there. Of course, it's going to be something going on mentally with an evil person, with evil acts, but it's not mental sickness. And that's where you have to draw it's a thin line between, okay, an evil act does equate a mentally sick perspective, but it's derived from an evil heart, which means the whole thing is not about the mental sickness. What affecting the mind is the heart. So it's just these moments of what goes through these people's mind and the energy in their mind, but the heart is the source, not the mental sickness. See what I'm saying? It's the source of the heart. The heart is the source. They got a snake heart. Got the heart of a snake. You know what I mean? That's what it is. That's what's happening in our community. People have the hearts of snakes. And you ain't gonna be able to make no excuses talking about no mental sickness. See, when a white woman is killed, everybody mourns. This is why I warned people. This is the worst thing people can do, is kill white people. We're trained not to, even black people. We know already if we kill somebody white, whether it was directly or indirectly, they're gonna try to put us under the prison. They're gonna try to throw us under the prison if you kill somebody white. And so we're taught to value white life as all Americans more than any other life, because that's how it's going to be expressed. You're going to look on the news and see white people expressing more value, and you're taught to do the same thing subconsciously. If you see somebody else putting high value on white people, you subconsciously, you're going to almost follow suit. So you'll find some black people that won't even talk about killing white people because you're taught to value their lives more than ours. But you'll talk about killing a nigga like it's nothing. But when you think about a white person, you halfway hesitate because you're taught to hesitate. And so when you do kill white people in this country, they make you pay for it. Just like you would think anybody would that would dominate the ethnicity that would dominate the country. The ethnicity that would dominate the country, if you kill one of their own, they're going to make you pay for it. So white people dominate the country. So when you kill one of them, they're going to make you pay for it. You see where you're at? You're in a white country, man. But you don't. But see, people want to fight for dominance, and black people think it's a fight for dominance instead of letting it go and say, hey, well, you know, this is not our country. No, it's not. This is theirs. We was brought here as immigrants. And you can say we are all immigrants, and it still is not the same thing, buddy. This is theirs. Native Americans was here first. And I've always said this before. The Native American man is the most innocent man in the world, to me. The Native Americans didn't do anything to nobody. What did he? He fought wars among other tribes. That's normal. That's normal. That's normal. That's gonna happen. Just because of men want to dominate other regions. But then again, people could say that's what the Americans did to the Native Americans. They did the same thing. They fought with their tribe to overtake Native Americans. Some people can look at it like the food chain. You know what I'm saying? If I'm stronger than you, I'm gonna take this land. And you cannot say that all humanity has not expressed this same temperament, this same demeanor and disposition. Humanity works as a food chain. Whoever is the strongest is who's gonna dominate. That's what it is. That's how humanity is built. If I'm stronger than you, why am I gonna be subject to you? I'm gonna eventually come and get my food. You feel me? Like, if I know he's weaker than me and he got all this food, I'm coming to take it. You ain't gonna come take it. He got pizza, Papa John's over there. He got Papa John's over there. He got Papa John's over there, don't he? He got boxes of Papa John's and you hungry. You know this dude is weaker than you. You gonna manhandle him and tell him to get out the way. Man, get out the way, man. Let me get this pizza, man. Get out. Man, get out the way, man. Some people do that literally. I bet they have. I bet they walked in the pizza store and say, hey, man, get out the way, man. Let me get this pizza right here. Walk behind the counter and just went in and got a pizza. Looked around, got a pizza. Hey, let me get that pizza right there, bro. Hey, man, listen, man. Hey, just be glad that's all I'm getting. Some people say, just be glad that's all I'm getting, bro. You don't think nobody ever did that in America? Of course. And before the end of time, guess what? They're going to be doing it again. Time's going to get so bad, people going to go into McDonald's and just go behind the counter and get food. And you ain't going to do nothing about it. They got burgers up there. You know how they slide the burgers down when they make them, right? They got burgers up there. They going to come through and get all that. You ain't going to do nothing. If you smart, because me, listen, I ain't getting away. I ain't getting in your way if I ain't got no pistol on me. No, you take it. Hey, listen, I'm gonna call management and tell them, listen, hey, they just stole something from the store. That's it. That's all I can do. That's all I'm gonna do. I ain't jumping in your way. I ain't trying to be no hero. You know, some people do that. They try to fight off thieves coming in the store. I would never do that. I remember one time, this is a perfect example. This woman was working at a 7-Eleven, right? This was a white woman. I knew her personally to a certain degree. So like one day when I was approaching like the 7-Eleven, like in the afternoon, as I was approaching it, 2 dudes ran out, right? With stuff. She ran behind them. This is a woman. She ran behind 2 dudes. Black dudes. Young black dudes. They had stuff and they ran out with it. She ran behind them. You know what I told her? I said, listen, man, I was on the streets too at that time. I was homeless on the streets. I was a street dude, right? I said, listen, man, you can't be running behind nobody like that. She was like, oh, they stole. I said, nah, man, listen. I told this white woman. I said, look, man, you can't be running behind nobody like that. They might do something to you. I seen her do it. Right in my eyes. With my own very eyes. I seen her run behind 2 dudes and run around the store. They can, if you give chase to somebody, they can turn around and feel threatened and do something to you. Even if they hit you, they can hit you one time and kill you. A real fighter realized this. Some people could hit you one time and you die. You think you finna fight it out with this dude. He hit you one time and you dead. I'm more conscious of that now than ever. Somebody can punch you one time and you die. If they hit you just right, it might be a luck of the draw, but hey, you dead. You know, they muster up the right strength at the right stance and just the right swing, and they hit you with all they might. Bro, you could die just from one hit, one punch. This woman was following this dude, 2 dudes now. What's she gonna do to 2 dudes? This is a white woman. She couldn't have been no more than about 5'8". 5'8" at best. What's she gonna do? What's she gonna do to these 2 lanky teenagers? They were lanky, tall, little lanky teenagers, which was probably about 5'9", 5'10". What's she gonna do to them? If they had stopped, what she was gonna do? Grab it out their hand? Most likely a white woman gonna try to do that. She gonna try to grab it, right? She gonna try to grab whatever they got. Come here, give me this, give me, like, right? You can't do that no more, man. You can't be doing that. You can't defend these brands that will step over your dead body and replace you. They'll replace you like it's nothing. Throw up a little memorial, throw some candles, flick some candles and light some candles, flick some lighters and light some candles, and call it a day, buddy. And guess what? Next year, they won't even be throwing up no memorial. You'll be forgotten by that time next year. You'll be forgotten by that same time next year, buddy. I don't defend nothing if I ain't got no strap on me. If I ain't got no gun on me, I ain't defending nothing. You can take whatever you want. Go ahead. Go ahead. I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't gonna put up no resistance. And that includes if they rob the store and I'm at the cashier. Give it up. Okay. Here you go. I'll take the whole thing off. Here you go. Just like that. That's right. I ain't gonna sit there and even dig it. I'm gonna take the whole thing off. And if the people say something to me, I'm gonna say, look, man, I'm not even gonna let that man stand there and wait for it. No, he might be impatient and shoot me. I'm not even letting him wait for it. I'm getting him out of there as soon as possible. I'm getting that gun off of me as soon as possible, buddy. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, oh well, why did you give it to him? Because I'm getting him out of my face as soon as possible. He got a gun on me. You don't know if he just felt like I'm gonna just shoot him and get the money, or I'm hesitating, or he might think I'm doing something funny, or some funny business, right? He don't know if I'm signaling to authorities. He might just want to shoot me because he don't know if I'm signaling to authorities. No, no, I'm gonna take that whole cashier off. I'm gonna give him all that register. I'm gonna give him the whole thing, just like that, and get him out my face. And he gonna look at me like he halfway crazy. He gonna look at me like I'm halfway crazy. No, there you go. Here you go. He looking like, okay. What's the punchline? Yeah. You don't put up no resistance for these stores and restaurants. Before you know it, I'm telling you, you're gonna start seeing it on TV. They're gonna be coming and getting food out these restaurants. They're gonna be hijacking it for food. They're gonna go in there, go behind the counter, just like they already doing it with the CVS's. The CVS, Walgreens, they smash and grab. That's what they call it. They're gonna be smashing and grabbing with restaurants. Think about it. If the Lord tarries, they're gonna be smashing and grabbing in restaurants. They're gonna come in there with a mob probably. Think about it. Go get food. Think about a restaurant, an all-you-can-eat restaurant. They're gonna go back there and get all kind of food. But the only bad part is they might have security or something. At an all-you-can-eat restaurant, they might have a little security around there. But ultimately, I do believe before the end of time, they're going to be smashing and grabbing. I do believe that. For food. Going behind there getting burgers and fries. Getting a whole bunch of fries, getting a bag, and just coming in there getting the burgers and fries. Whole bag of it. Just walking out. What you going to do? You ain't going to do nothing. And boosters are just doing all kind of stuff these days, bro. They taking all kind of stuff. This is what it is. This is how it is. This is the end of times. Here we are. Everybody always was talking about it, and now we are here. We are here. And how we know for sure is the mentality of the people. That's what I'm trying to tell people. The mentality. That's how you know it's gone. So they kept us segregated with money this whole time. That's why you can't have a politician talk about cost of living. They won't talk about cost of living. You will never hear Donald Trump talk about a living wage. That's the main term you won't never hear them talk about. You might hear a mayor talk about it, a governor. You're not going to hear any heavyweight politicians talk about a living wage. A living wage is, if what that basically does is force every employer to give you enough money to pay for your rent within 2 pay periods. Within 2 pay periods. You should be able to pay for your rent and food for the whole month in 2 pay periods. You pay for at least for the rent, right? And obviously food for the month. Some people do month runs, for the whole month. You should be able to do that within 3 pay periods. Not where you got to work 2 jobs. You can't work a job in 4 pay periods and pay for your rent and your food for the month. People got to work 2 or 3 jobs. That's not a living wage. A living wage is 1 job. This is why they don't want to have this conversation. A living wage is 1 job, and you pay your rent in 2 pay periods. That's how it's defined. It's defined as a job that you can pay rent, food, and in your necessities within a reasonable amount of time. That's how you can paraphrase it. Within a reasonable amount of time, you pay for your rent and your food for the month. Let's just keep it on a month basis. Within a month's time, you pay for your food and your rent in a reasonable time. Which means I would say 2 pay periods, 2 to 3 pay periods. You should be able to pay for your rent and your food. You can't even do that. See, that's why they don't want to have a conversation. Now, white people, they go over there. They know about a living wage. They gonna get a living wage. They gonna make sure everywhere they're employed. I don't know about now, but how it used to be, they gonna get a living wage. They gonna get that. That's what their parents is gonna coach them and train them to go after. Enough money to live on your own and get out of my house. You ain't gonna see black people, we just glad that our children working. Oh, I'm glad you got a job. White people, is it enough money for you to get rent? They gonna say that up front. That's the idea. For you to get a job and live on your own. So they gonna train their children to go after jobs that you can live on your own. We train in the black community to go to get a job, and we just glad you employed. That's how you know I know black people. Well, we glad he got him a job. Okay, that's all we glad about. That you working. Long as you working, that's all we care about. That's how it's been the whole time. We just glad that we working. That's not, but that ain't gonna get you on your own, and you can live like a man and a woman. You can't live like that. You can't live truly as a man on your own without being at your mom's house. That's why I got more respect for somebody that struggles. You know, I got more respect for people who struggle, bro. Cause we out here in the streets. Even now, you might think I got it good. I got the pressures of a man. Like, you know, like what I'm gonna do for this and what I'm gonna do for that. I'm on my own. You know, I don't have any, you know, like I said, I talked to my mom today and I'm glad I did. But I don't have any family in New York. So I don't have that emotional, physical connection with nobody. I live out here in the real world. And I think people don't realize that. You know, it's easy to be at home and, you know, you got all the love and care, your family, you got support. We out here on our own. And I'm glad for the love that I got from my mom, you know, and my family. But you know what I mean? I'm physically right now, in most, like all my adult life, most of it, I've been on my own, man, physically speaking. But I always had the love of my mom there for me. But for people that live with their parents, you got more emotional support than we do as grown men and women living on our own. When we in the room by ourselves, you know, you can go run to your mom's room and have a talk. We can't do that. You can go talk to your family. We can't. We got to have a backbone. We got to survive enemies. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I have more respect for people that struggle than people that just go home. You know what I'm saying? And I done that too. I done played that position too because I'm black. We go through struggles and things and you go back home. You know, but I'm going to have more respect for the person that stand on their own. You know what I'm saying? And you still can love your family. You still can love your people and be a man. That's what we do. You can be a man and a woman. You don't got to be home to love your family. You ain't got to live with your mom to love your mother. You ain't got to live with your daddy to love your daddy. And you know some black people feel like that. They don't want to leave. That's not normal. You haven't weaned yourself from your family where you don't want to leave home. Literally. Because you so tender-hearted towards your family. And a lot of Southern people like that. You know why a lot of people didn't come to Charlotte, from Charlotte to New York? Because you don't want to leave your family. You got dreams, you got ambitions, and why you ain't leave home? Because of your mom. You scared to leave your mom. You don't want to leave your mom behind. See, that's a part of life that we respect when somebody does it. When somebody do that, when I do that, you gotta respect it. If you know if you're smart enough to see what it is. Because some people ain't built like that in our black community. In the black community, they ain't leaving their mama. Some of y'all right here in New York, you ain't leaving your mama. You're gonna base everything around why you ain't even entertain a thought of going anywhere else is because of your mom. That's why. You ain't even thought about it. It's out the question for some people. It's out the question. You want to see your family grow up, your nephews grow up, etc., woo, 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 right? So you ain't going nowhere. That ain't gonna make no sense. I want to see my nephews grow up. That's what some of these women gonna say. I want to see my little niece grow up. That part, you ain't going nowhere. But see, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get money, to get opportunities. You gotta migrate yourself individually to get money, to do things, to get opportunities ultimately. And some people ain't built like that, so that's why you gotta respect people who are out here on the front lines, man. You gotta respect it. You know what I'm saying? Because some people ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it. You gonna stay at home with Mom Dukes. You're going to be at home with Mom Dukes. That's what's going to happen. You're going to be at home with Mom Dukes. So, you know, it just comes to a point, man, where we put everything in proper perspective. That's all I'm about. That's basically what these videos are about, is putting everything in proper perspective. Because a lot of people are not doing that. Everything is not in proper perspective. It's not. That's why it's a blessing if your mind is in proper perspective. If you thinking properly and putting things in proper perspective, that you should listen. You should count your lucky stars that you can even think like that. That you can actually put things in proper perspective. That's why I don't let people question my mental health, because I'm putting everything in proper perspective. And that nobody else is. White people, with the cost of living, is how they separated us. That's how they separated us this whole time. And it's important. I think it needs to be said before the world ends. Some things I say because the world is ending and it needs to come out. The truth about all this stuff. Like that. The truth about all this stuff. Like, why we really didn't get ahead. You know why you really didn't get ahead in America? Because they set it up where the cost of living and the living wage didn't complement you. Right? The cost of living. They know you ain't got no money. You getting minimum wage. How you gonna pay for the cost of living? With a low minimum wage. So if I lower the minimum wage, how you gonna pay for cost of living in my neighborhood? Then therefore, obviously, you ain't getting a living wage. That's out the question. That's out the question. Because you making minimum wage. You ain't gonna get to my neighborhood. And that's how they kept us out. And they ain't gonna admit it. Because if it was a black man that ran this country, he would have made the work system where it complements hard work. That's what black people want to hear. If I work hard, I can go in there and make some money. I ain't got to use my brain. I just throw my weight around and work hard. That's what we do. That's what we do. My stepdad told me, man, listen. He said, man, you can make a lot of money off how you be walking around. That's what my stepdad told me. He was one of the most workingest man I ever met in my life. This dude, I ain't never seen him sick at home or nothing. This dude worked all the time. He told me, man, don't you know, a working man gonna always be thinking about work. Shoot, you can, man, how you walk around, you can make a lot of money. Cause how I walk, that's what people so impressed by, man. My stepdad was even impressed by that. I've always been this way. But see, I could use that and have been rich without my brain. And see, that's what the white man's intimidated. Some of them are intimidated by our physical strength. They can't believe it. My stepdad was like, man, you walk miles. And, man, even a black man was impressed by that. My stepfather impressed by how I walk around. I walk from one state to another on foot. I don't think he know that. He already thought I could walk. I don't think he know that story though. I don't think he conscious of it. If I told him, I don't think he conscious of it. But yeah, now imagine if I got a job where I had to use my legs and I had to be back and forth, like where most people would just give up. I can't do it. I could. So my legs is mine. That's my strength. I can walk miles. I've done it. I've walked from state to state, city to city. So my strength is my legs, right? My legs done carried me literally out of a whole nother city. Now imagine if I had a job that complemented that, where other people couldn't do it. They just physically couldn't do it on a day-to-day basis. I could. You know what I'm saying? That's my strength, right? So then I should be getting a job where if I work hard and do what most humans can't do, I should be complimented for that financially, right? It's not set up like that. It's not set up that If I do something exceedingly above what the average human could do, shouldn't I be complimented for that? For a labor that's for a physical labor that's above normal, shouldn't I be complimented for that? They didn't set the system up like that, where you could work hard and get rich and get paid, because that would have been us. If all these black people would have been working. All you got to do is put money in front of us like it's supposed to be, and we gonna work. But we ain't getting up out of our bed for $7 an hour. And listen, I'm not lazy, but I'm not getting out of my bed for no $7 an hour in 2026, bro. It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm just saying. And that's how most black people are. You don't want to admit it, but you just the same way. You ain't lazy, but you ain't getting up out your bed for no insignificant money. It's not worth it. And some people say, well, I would do anything. Well, that's you. That's not our culture. I'm not getting out of my bed unless it's significant money. Now, if it's significant money, I'm gonna think about it. If I know this job right here say we getting $30 an hour, that ain't gonna never leave a black man's mind. That place paying $30 an hour down there. He ain't gonna never stop thinking about it. I could go down there. And guess what? Eventually you're gonna put in the application, ain't you? Well, I just come in, you're gonna call first, ain't you? These days. You're gonna call. Y'all hiring, y'all got any openings? That's what a culture man gonna do. Y'all got any openings? Oh, you say you're hiring $30 an hour, okay. Yeah, y'all hiring, okay, so what kind of openings y'all got? What kind of openings? What kind of position? Second shift, first shift? Okay. I can go apply online. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Okay, listen, this is the one thing I notice about black people. If you talk about how many times you done been in your family and everybody been talking in your family about a job that pays good money, and it's a rave in the family. Yeah, you know they paying $15, $20. We talk about jobs that pay money. We ain't lazy, we just ain't doing any kind of job. That's it. But your logic is we should just do anything to survive. But to us, that's a waste of time. That's just what it is, bro. That's just what it is. Like, some people rather, cause see, with every job you gotta go through something. You gotta sacrifice some of your peace to work this job. Why do that for a job that and work and you know, sacrifice your peace and you ain't even got no, and you ain't making no money really. See, when I can add up what I can do with the paychecks, oh, I can get a car with that. Just one check. You think I ain't gonna do that? You think I ain't gonna go work? Cause all I'm gonna be thinking about on the job is, oh, that car. But if I can't see with each pay period a significant purchase I can make, most people ain't gonna want to work that job as a black person. Nope. We gotta be working that job and thinking about that car. We gotta be working that job and thinking about that apartment. We gotta be working that job and thinking about something else we want to do. If we don't got no goals, we can't line up no goals with a job. Financially, with each pay period, we ain't gonna be interested. We ain't gonna be interested in that job. That's what it is. And I base this off of sitting back listening to people. If you listen to most black people, they gonna talk about a good job that pay money. That's all we interested in. If it don't pay no money, listen, nah, most people ain't thinking about it. But then you got some black people just to work any job, just to work any job, just to say they working. But nah, we'll quit that. We'll wind up quitting that job. But when we know each pay period, this is how it's supposed to be. Each pay period, I can make a significant purchase, just like a white person. A white person can work a certain job and make a significant purchase with each pay period. Not 2, 3, 5 pay periods. Not 5 checks. One pay period. We ain't even used to that. We not used to it. One pay period, I can go and buy me a car. Oh, I'm gonna work this job. Yeah, I'm thinking about that car. You can't even plan. You can a car. The average situation, it takes 5, 6, 7, 8 pay periods for you to get a car. A decent car, right? More than that, actually. I mean, you know. Well, yeah. in some cases, but it's just the problems. And this is what made it the way it was. This in the tension and the animosity. See, the animosity comes from people realizing what you did. You didn't talk about a living wage because, see, that kept the corporation aspect alive. These big old plants where everybody worked for peanuts and other people get money. Somebody get money, but it ain't you. See, if I give everybody a living wage, then I ain't gonna get the lion's share like I want. I ain't gonna get it. If I reduce the wages I pay people, I get the most money. That's what it is all about. That's why Walmart won't do it. That's why all these big corporations won't pay people a living wage, because it's somebody sitting back greedy, wanting to live like these movie stars. That's what they want to do. So if I pay everybody a living wage, which Walmart can afford to do that, Walmart is the perfect example. I used to work at Walmart. That's how you know I'm American. I worked at Walmart, right? Walmart does not pay a living wage. I worked at Wally World. Yeah, that's how you know I'm a normal person, okay? I worked at Wally World. The prophet worked at Wally World. Okay, so, but they don't pay a living wage. They don't pay no living wage. Okay, so then what you doing with that money? You gonna get some pizza? You gonna get the groceries in there? You gonna shop at Walmart? See, they gonna get they even gonna get the employees' money. You gonna get all the electronics. You gonna get all that stuff there. You gonna get a lot of stuff, electronical stuff there. You gonna get a lot of electronic stuff there. You gonna get your hair products. Some women gonna get their hair products there. I know. Listen, I know. You gonna get hair products there. You gonna get some shirts, some type of jeans. You gonna get peace. You gonna get food there for sure. Oh yeah, you gonna do your shopping as soon as you get off the clock. For the weekend, oh yeah, let me do a little shopping. Let me do a little shopping here. Let me do a little shopping here. Going to get pizza and everything. Going to get all kind of stuff. You walking out. That's what you're gonna do. That's what you're gonna do, right? That's how it is. They getting all that money back. You just got paid and you giving it right back to Walmart. Do you know that they say Walmart has the same has enough money that's bigger than a whole some of these countries? I forgot which country it is. The money they make from it is more money than a certain country's economy. Walmart is bigger financially than some country's economy. The whole thing. A whole country's economy. Walmart. When I went back and got my GED, that was one of the questions. That was one of the some of the information. Walmart has more money than one of these countries' economy, and they can't. My point is, they can't afford to pay you a living wage. They can't afford to pay you a living wage. They can, but it's just they gonna miss a lot of money. The money they depending on to live another life above their means. They want to live like a movie star, so they see that money. Oh well, I can't go to Hawaii if I pay these people this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be pinching here and pinching there, and see what I'm saying? I can't get that new SUV every year. You know, some people get a new car every year just to keep up with the new vibe, the new Vogue, or whatever is in vogue. So it's just, you don't get what you need because people want to live a different lifestyle. They want to live a higher lifestyle off your back. And you ain't gonna never get a living wage at Walmart. No, you not, unless you're a manager. But if you working on the floor, anywhere on the floor, you're not getting a living wage, man. No. If you getting enough to live on your own, you're gonna live in the hood. You ain't gonna live in a decent place outside the hood. And keep in mind, the living wage is based on at least enough money to get out the hood. Not enough money to go live back in the hood. No, they ain't a living wage. They ain't what we talking about, no. See, we been comfortable with that. A living wage is enough money to live outside of a dangerous neighborhood. See, that's asking too much, ain't it? As a black man, that's asking too much. To give me a living wage, if I work hard and I'm not selling drugs, can't you get me out this neighborhood? You can't get me out this neighborhood if I choose to do the right thing. See what I'm saying? You see how discouraging it is? If I choose to do the right thing, you can't get me out of this neighborhood. You can't reward me with getting me out of this neighborhood. You ain't gonna consider that I'm doing the right thing and reward me for that. Oh, well, that's what you're supposed to do. Why would should you be rewarded for what you're supposed to do? Because you're trying to change the culture. You're trying to change the culture from drug dealing and all of this hustling out here. You're trying to change the culture from killing. See, real politicians can't break down this part. This is what people be looking for. This is what you call a national leader. I'm a national leader. See, Malcolm X was a national leader. He wasn't a politician, nor was he a preacher, because he addressed a little bit of both, right? He was a national leader. MLK was not a preacher, nor was he a politician. So what was he? He was a national leader. Their positions were so young in America, people didn't even know what it was. MLK was not no preacher. MLK was not a politician. Malcolm X was not just talking about the Quran. In fact, I never really heard Malcolm X really talk about the Quran too much. I heard him talk about politics and the logistics of the community. That's a national leader. And this is what we expect, out of politicians, but they not built like that. You expect your politician to be like Malcolm X, to come on top of the country and get down into the logistics of the community and talk about these issues in the community like I'm doing. See what I'm saying? That's what you expect a politician to do. Perfect example, Barack Obama. You expected Barack Obama to be a national leader and get down into the logistics of the issues of our community. And he did to a certain degree, but not like Malcolm X, where y'all expected him to change America. But he didn't, because he's a politician. He's not built to do it. He got to stick to politics, which means laws, things passed. You see what I'm saying? Policies and things like that. That's a politician. A national leader comes and challenges the morality of the community. A politician ain't going to do that. A politician is not going to really challenge the morality. All they're going to do is throw out laws against the immorality of the community. So all they're going to do is punish the community when they're wrong. Like Donald Trump, all he going to do is, if it get bad, he going to send National Guard in. That's all he going to do. If it get bad, he going to send National Guard. He can't talk to the people and talk about the living wages and everything like that. That's what the preacher and the national leader is built to do. This is why we're important. This is why they never eliminate us and respect us. Because at the end of the day, we gonna break down the logistics of the community, the things that's on people's hearts. And a politician can't do that. He ain't built to do it. That's why Trump ain't gonna sit down and talk about the real logistics of. He kind of do a little bit with the rallies and things. He kind of do talk, and that's why people like him. But when you get down to the real issues, these real problems in the community, he's not going to get into it. He's not going to do it. And see, like I've said before, whether everybody accepts it or not, it only makes sense for the president moving ahead to be Mexican or Latino. Because it's dominantly, that's what it is. And white people even know that. It's so many Mexican and Latino people, it only makes sense for the leader to be Mexican or Latino, and that's what they hate right now. That's why that's another reason why they deporting people. Because if I let all these people run wild, not only is it illegal, it's only gonna make sense for the Mexican leader, for a leader to be Mexican or Latino. If this just gets out of control, right? What's the next problem that's going to happen? White America is going to be threatened as far as power and authority over America. It's already here though. You know, it's it's too many. It's so many Hispanic or Latinos in America. It doesn't make sense that you have a white president. It's so many black people that took over the culture. Add that part too. To where really white people don't influence the culture like they used to. You remember we used to like white movies, white music. Do you like white music and movies now? You don't, do you? All you're going back to is the classic rock, that part, and all this rock and roll. You like that? Oh, it's black people that like that. You like the white movies from back in the day that they made? All the little white movies, all the stuff they made. Stephen King and all these other movies. I mean, you know, I'm just saying, just the regular culture. I mean, you know, people that's not spiritual, they like the Stephen King movies and you know, Steven Spielberg movies. You know, they contributed to what cartoons, Walt Disney, all this kind of stuff. All the stuff like that, cartoons and everything. They were just creative. What happened? What happened? I don't know. You tell me. But I remember when white people was very creative. Like you just look at the movies, all the different movies they was making. Black people loved all the movies. That's why can you really be like against white people? Man, you grew up on all those white movies. We all did. We grew up on all them white movies and all this white stuff. It's movies right now dear to your heart. Yeah, I remember that. I love that movie. Ain't number white people in the movie. Ain't number white people in it. But it's not like that no more. The culture is basically belongs to black people. Not Hispanic or Latinos, not white people. The culture belongs to not Hispanic or in Latino and white people. It belongs to black people. So then white people have become culturally second-class citizens. Pay attention. Physically, they have become second-class citizens because of Hispanic and Latinos. So you see the threats, right? That's why they were so desperate for Donald Trump to be in office. Because it's the last stand for white America before whoever else comes after this. Because after this, with more Hispanic and Latinos and black people taking over the culture, white people gonna be second-class citizens in their country. You see the threats, right? That's why you know there's something about to happen. Because white America is too much under threats, bro. It's common sense. It's common sense. It's just if you don't see the whole pictures of how this goes, you ain't gonna be able. You won't understand what I'm showing you. Like I said, if it's all these Hispanic and Latinos in this country, what sense is it going to make moving forward with white people trying to be over them? It's only going to make sense that whoever dominates the country, that their leader, a person from their ethnicity, should be running the country, cause they the ones that are dominate the country. So why I'm gonna put a white man over them? People gonna realize this. It's gonna be basically insinuated or said in so many ways, because eventually you're gonna come to the conclusion this white man is not meeting the needs of the people. He doesn't know what he's doing. And then look what he's doing with the ICE and all of that. See, if you had Hispanic and Latino leadership, ICE wouldn't be handled like that. And I know it has to exist. It has to happen, but you know what I mean. It would be different. It wouldn't be no funny business with ICE, even though they gotta be out there. It wouldn't be no funny business. You see funny business, don't you? Let's keep it 100. Now, if it's Hispanic or Latino in there, you ain't gonna see no funny business. See what I mean? It's just you can see they need leadership. You can see it. Whether you agree with it or not, you know, most old school black white people gonna be stuck in their ways about Hispanic or Latinos running the country and taking over the country. I mean, you know, those two races gonna be stuck in their feelings about it. You know, cause that's how it is. We more open about it, but you know, in my age, how I feel is this: this country that we enjoy was made by white people. People like to say that we built this country. No, you helped as in the terminology of helping at a construction site. You was a helper, which means you took materials to one place to another. That's what you did. White people made the design of America. They made the buildings. They made the avenues, the boulevards. In New York alone, all white people made all these streets. Who you think did it? Stuff you take for granted like a child. Look around. Look at all these streets in New York. Who you think made every street? Black people? No. White people made those streets. Hispanic and Latinos made the streets. No, they did not. So who made 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue, and what it consists of? White people made that. So put yourself in their shoes. You made this whole country literally the grid. Where black people didn't make the grid. Let's say it like that. Black people did not make the grid. So that's like saying, oh, okay, you know, I helped. You know what a white man gonna tell you? That's just like you building a building, right? You build a building. You the architect, right? You build the building. You made the whole design for it. You pulled people together to take the material to point A to point B. Now he comes in and says, oh, well, I think I should own this building. White America gonna look at you like, oh, well, no, I'll pay you for... This is where they went wrong. They should have paid us, but they didn't. A good man will say, I will pay you, but you can't own the building, bruh. You can't own the building, but I can pay you for what you did. You know what I'm saying? But I can't let you have the building, bruh. Come on. I came up with this whole building, the design and everything. I can't let you have that. No, I can't let you have it, but I can pay you for what you've done, and that's how it was supposed to be. We didn't build America. We took materials from point A to point B, so it wasn't built on our back necessarily. No, because then you had white workers right there with them. We forget that part. Yeah, what made America America? White people was right there working too. Now slavery is another thing. Slavery, you could say that's what make you feel like we built this country on our back. But then after slavery, white people was working side by side at these other jobs to build the grid for America. The black people didn't build the grid. White people was working right there getting that money too. Building the grid, the boulevards, the streets, the avenues, and everything. They were right there with us getting the money and feeding their families with jobs like that too. So this country was built on our backs. Are you talking about slavery? I mean, that was kind of like just certain products like cotton, rice, everything like that. But look at the other jobs that they was doing, white America was doing. You see what I'm saying? Look at the other jobs they was doing that we couldn't even do, that they didn't let us do. They didn't let us build all the houses in America, did they? So who was building the houses during slavery? White people. They wasn't making black people build houses. We was on a plantation picking cotton in certain production, rice and cotton and things like that. We wasn't going outside of the plantation building houses like a field trip. Hey, it's a field trip. Come on, we're gonna build some houses. We wasn't doing that. We wasn't doing that. We was used just like we use today at Walmart. We was used for mass production. It's the same thing. And you ain't paying nobody. It's the same thing. That's why slavery, modern day slavery, is when you can't pay for your own place to stay. You can't pay for your life. That's still slavery. Because that's what slavery is. You working, but you can't pay for your life. You can't work. You can't pay for a place to live. Who's gonna be encouraged by a job like that? That's why we like this. Why people think we lazy? No, it's slavery, and you don't see it, and nobody don't want to do it. So they built this country, right? They built this country architecturally speaking, as far as architecture. The architecture of this country, what we enjoy, they built all the streets and the boulevards. They built all the stuff we enjoy, we call our hoods. Brooklyn is a Danish word. Brooklyn. It was spelled Brueklyn. They respelled Brooklyn. Brooklyn wasn't spelled like this. Brook. The OO is for emphasis on the EU in Brooklyn. Brooklyn is spelled Brueklyn. Brooklyn. So that's why they put the two O's for the emphasis. Brooklyn. That's how it was supposed to be said. That's a Danish word. That was from Danish terminology. Harlem was a Danish word too. It was spelled Haalrlem. Harlem. They took one of the A's out so it would seem more English. So Brooklyn and Harlem is Danish words. Okay? You gotta know, educate yourself. That means all of this was white. How else you want me to put it? Harlem was even white. That's a wake up call. Harlem is a Danish word. That's a Danish word. Okay? So, wake up. This grid was all white. So they gonna feel threatened. And they gonna look at it like they gonna take pride in it differently. That's why they patriots. And I understand it. You don't understand it. You know why they patriots? Because they built the country. If you was black and you would be like, yeah, my country, if we built this. That's why they take pride in it, and they got the flags and everything. Because their ancestors built the grid of America. That's what it is. If you go to Africa, Africans built Africa. What it is, in many countries. And you would feel some type of way if white people took it over, or if Hispanic or Latinos took it over, or Asians took it over. It belongs to Africans. But why? Why does it belong to Africans? Because you feel it's their land. You feel that they made the grid and that's their homeland. This is where it gets tricky. America was like, it was, but it wasn't like a free agent. Geographically, right? But the Native Americans, the one that populated the country. That's why I say he the most innocent man. He didn't do anything to anybody. And he still doesn't. He minds his business. He stays on the reservation. He didn't even come out here and try to be a part of America when America got better. When America got populated and big and popular, the Native Americans didn't even come out here. That's why everybody respect them. They stayed at the reservations this whole time. They looking to seeing all this crazy stuff. Can you imagine how Native Americans looking at it? Look at this crazy stuff going on with these Americans. They stayed out the way the whole time. You gotta respect that. You got to. That's why, to me, he's the most innocent man. One of the most innocent one of the most innocent men in the country, in the world. He ain't do nothing to nobody. Look what happened to him. And he still don't kill nobody. We kill each other. The Native Americans don't even really kill each other. You see what I'm saying? He remained innocent. He's one of the most innocent people. We are not innocent no more. As black people, we're not innocent because we kill each other. We kill our own children. The Native American man, he was oppressed and stayed innocent the whole time. And see, he's a perfect example. Where you should have been. You should have stayed innocent the whole time. We didn't. The Native American man stayed innocent the whole time. All the stuff he went through, he still stayed innocent. You can't really say nothing about him. Not really. But us, we kill each other. We didn't maintain our innocence when we was oppressed. He, from point A to point B, has maintained his innocence for the most part, collectively speaking. Collectively speaking, he has maintained his innocence as a Native American man, as far as how he was done and he was oppressed, and he still maintains a certain sense of innocence. And he stays out the way. He ain't even out here in America causing any problems. They can't even say nothing about Native Americans. You can't even say they're a problem. But they can say we a problem. And that's a wake-up call. So see, that shows us how innocent we are or not. You know, when we compare ourselves up against the Native Americans, you realize, nah, we not that innocent like that. You know, they overall, they remain innocent and we didn't. Even though we went through slavery, right? Because a Native American, you can't enslave no Native American. They would have killed the people. You couldn't put no Native American, no Indian on a plantation. Are you kidding me? He would have killed the people. That's how sharp they are. I'm not saying we not sharp, but he would have, think about it. They would have got out of that. They too primal. They would have got out of that. By the time we came here, we probably lost our primal nature. We was beat down too much. The Native Americans would have been, ain't no way in the world. Even just coming across the voyages of the transatlantic slave trade, we was already traumatized with PTSD and all kind of stuff probably from that. If you realize, they should make a whole movie about just the routes from the transatlantic slave trade. That's what they should have made a movie about. How and describing, showing people feces and urinating on each other and dying in front of each other. Throwing them in the rip, throwing them in the ocean. It's African bones still in the ocean. You realize that? It gotta be. It gotta be somewhere down there. They threw bodies in the ocean. How it ain't still there? It could have got stuck up on the rock or anything and was preserved. It's gotta be African bones in the ocean, man. You know, so even though we went through that, the Native Americans still was maintained the best position because they remain innocent, man. They went through the Trail of Tears. Everybody know about the Trail of Tears, right? Where the Europeans dragged them across country and they was dying from the weather and everything, right? The elements and all that, man. And keep in mind, the Europeans brought the cold over here, what we call the cold. When you catch a cold, the Native Americans didn't have no cold, so their immune system just was being destroyed by, you know, colds and flus that the Europeans brought over here. He maintained his position of innocence. You know, you can't really say nothing about him. He fought wars here in America. I mean, wars that made sense. But other than that, he's the most innocent people. He's the most innocent people here. The Native American man is the most innocent people. His people is the most innocent people here. I stand on that. Ain't nobody more innocent than them. Because everybody else is part of the white American agenda and he's not. So when you talk about the Asians, the Indians from India, all these different races of people are a part of the American agenda and the Native Americans are not. The only thing he got going is that casino, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. Other than that, he out the way. All these other people, you can't, if they here in America, you can't trust them in America once they come here. Because they're going to be part of the American agenda. Asian people here, you can't really trust them. Who you think they're going to go with? Me, or how I'm talking, or these Americans? Now, some going to be on my side, but some not. They're going to go with American agenda and demonize you. So you can't really trust nobody. Even black people, it got so bad, you can't trust no black people. No. That's why I can talk like this, and it's almost having like racial schizophrenia. You can vouch for black people, but you really can't. White people kind of bad, but it's some cool white people too. So you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Anybody that talks balanced, that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be addressing black issues. At the same time, you try to vouch for them in certain other areas, and you sympathize with certain things they went through and things like that. White people, you're gonna see what they did, but then again, you're going to see how some white people always helped black people, even during the times of slavery, when they used to put blankets up at the windows to signal to the slaves that it was a haven for them to come into. So see, they always helped us. You got white people that helped us out of slavery, where they used their houses as havens to help us. Okay, so then you can't say they was all against us. Some of our ancestors were survived because of white people, because they went to white people's houses that had the blankets up at the window. Okay, so that's why it's like having racial schizophrenia, because you talk about white people in the good light, those things, but then you look at the other stuff. Black people, you try, they've been through a lot and everything, but then look at this stuff over here. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta use wisdom. It's a tricky situation. This jungle is not as simple as you think it is here in America. It's not as simple as you think. That's why I told people, Hispanic and Latinos need to have their own politicians. That's why you think we like this, because a politician is the equivalent of a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? If your people go through stuff, you need a lawyer against the government. Who's going to be that lawyer? A politician. A politician is going to come and say, hey, man, this is going on. The government's doing this over here against us and our people. You know what I'm saying? And people are going to take it credible and seriously, because it's going to get the publicity because of that politician. But Hispanic and Latinos didn't really get no politicians. So when y'all going through ICE, you see, you ain't got nobody really to vouch for you. You're going through ICE now, and these people supposed to be speaking for you. All this stuff going on, these facilities and stuff that they ain't even paying attention to. They don't care. These people coming from a different country, and they don't feel the need to feel sorry for them and have compassion. That's why, because they're illegal. They don't feel no need to have no compassion for them. But in this country, the most cultured people gonna talk like me. We have to argue for ourselves. We have to defend ourselves, and that's how it is. If you meet a real cultured American, they always gonna be able to deal with politics and deal with right and wrong and dissect that. If that's the most cultured people here. If they don't talk like me, they not that cultured. Because you got to be able to defend yourself. You got to be able to defend your people. You got to be able to defend your rights. That's part of being here, because of the racial culture and all this stuff going on. If you don't have somebody to stand up for your people, then you in trouble. Because if they do something to you, then who's going to vouch for you? Who's going to do anything for you? Who's going to speak for you? Black people ain't going to speak for you. Hispanic and Latinos, no, not really. You got to have somebody for yourself. You got to have your own people who understand your needs and what you need and what in your culture. We don't understand your culture like you do. So we wouldn't know, those other little things in between that you value as your community. Only y'all know that. Only y'all know that. Okay? So you got to have a politician. You got to have people, when y'all go through stuff, that person stands up and say, hey, this is going on. The government is doing this. You got to have that kind of thing going on. Otherwise, see, this is a perfect example. Look what's going on with ICE. You ain't got nobody there. You see what I'm saying? You needed somebody there to advocate against this stuff right now. And you don't got it. That's what I'm saying. And it's a perfect example. What I'm talking about, no race of people can be out here in America without politicians or national leaders that's going to advocate against things like that. See, you got to have that in America. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep coming back on it, man.